This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. You gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. See, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome aboard to the beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, sir, it is Thursday, and we are hanging out here in the poker room, second floor. Come on out here. Great place. Got the Champions Simulcast Center for those of you that like to wager on different tracks throughout the country, and especially when the big races come in and all kinds of stuff. So come on out here. Loosest slots in the country. Or actually, I'm sorry. Loosest slots in the state, not the country. Loosest slots in the state. And that is all on record, too. You can actually see it there on the state website. So nobody with a looser group of slots than our folks right here at Hialeah Park. Great food, all kinds of stuff. So treat yourself. Come on out here and come to this legendary park and now a casino. I used to come here when I was a kid for racing. My dad would come out here and I would meet him out here for lunch and watch a couple of races. To me, this place is always going to be incredibly special to me because, you know, as a kid, I would come out here all the time. And so this place always reminds me of my dad. So I have a special spot in my heart for Hialeah Park because I always think of my father who used to come here all the freaking time, dude. All the time. Yeah. So meetings or just to watch the horses and bet on a few or eating. He'd come out here just to eat lunch and stuff. He was always working in Hialeah, so that's kind of the reason why. So he was always in this area. So he was a big Hialeah fan. So this has been a partnership that we've had for a long, long time, and one we're very, very proud of. So we absolutely love it. Damn, True Fin fan, you didn't waste any time already with a super chat. Thank you, sir. Man, you let Omar have it. You're dead right. It's no big deal, bro. It's we go back and forth and we have some fun. It was just a ridiculous comparison because the move by the Dolphins for Cedric means nothing compared to what's it called? What's his name? To Dalvin Cook. It's completely two different scenarios, and it made no sense. It was a terrible, terrible suggestion by Omar, but that's all right. That's all. It's all good. But anyway, so we will have some fun. Marcel Louis Jacques is going to stop by at 3:30. We're going to have Jeff Zilgit is going to join us at 5 o'clock. USA Today NBA writer, and he was at the finals. So we'll talk to Jeff, and we'll get his thoughts on some of the rumors out there and all that kind of stuff. And I'll get into some of that stuff too myself now. Michelle Kaufman will also join us, and she'll join us at 4 o'clock. So we'll talk a little Inter, a little Messi with Michelle Kaufman. So looking forward to that. We got a little Perdomo out there ready to load up there, Sean, because let's give the Miami Marlins a little love. Yesterday, they avoided the sweep. They beat the Mariners 4-1. Jesus Sanchez with boy, a really nice catch on the fence. It's not like the greatest catch I've ever seen, but it was an awesome catch. Well, definitely the best catch the Marlins have made this year, right? I don't know if I can't say I've seen every minute of the Marlins, but that might be the best catch for the Marlins this year. But that was perfect. I mean, you could not have timed it more perfectly than Jesus did. Good for him, and he read it perfectly. Yuri Perez continues to just dazzle, man. 6 innings, 2 hits, 6 Ks. He's got a 1.8 ERA and a 4-1 record, man. And Soler hit his 20th home run, man. That is crazy stuff. So let's give him a victory cigar, Sean Stanley. Yeah, a little victory cigar. I just was at the Perdomo factory right now in Miami Gardens. No, that's actually Miami Lakes, Miami Lakes. It's a little more east. It's Miami Lakes, right off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto. If you haven't been there, wow. I mean, that's a cigar factory with a cigar store inside. You can actually buy any Perdomo cigar they make. It's there in that giant, beautiful humidor. They got like a 30-foot couch. I'm serious. The leather couch that's there is a horseshoe, and I swear it's like 30 feet long. It's got cup holders and everything. They got a big, giant TV. They got a pool table. So you can go with the fellas, smoke a cigar, play some pool. I just saw Nick. I was just hanging out with Nick Perdomo just half hour ago. He and I were talking sports and all kinds of things and life and everything. I go, oh, Nick, I'm on at 3. I got to get out of here. It's like it was 2:30. I gotta get out of here. So I took off. So I was hanging out with Nick. So really, you might be able to take a picture with Nick Perdomo. Like today, if you would go over there, you'd run into Nick Perdomo. In fact, you'd run into Nick Jr. Arthur's there. I mean, Janine is there. Everybody, the family is all there. The amazing Perdomo family is there. So check it out. If you are a cigar aficionado, that is something that you should enjoy. No Doubt says, good afternoon, Fin fans. Something like 80 days till the season. Word on the street is my Pelicans are going to make a move for number 2 or 3. Yeah, but I hear that, and they say by trading Zion. Like, who wants that tub of lard? I was like, oh, and they might trade Zion, and it's like, well, why would you want that contract and that loser? Why would you give up the 2nd or 3rd pick for him? I don't know. I wouldn't. That guy hasn't shown me any kind of real dedication to his craft. Yeah, no. I don't know. You might have to trade other things. And I know you got to get rid of Zion. But wow, that is... I don't know how you guys do that. I don't know. You probably do picks and other things. But It can't be Zion bringing you the set. I mean, I'm just going to laugh at whoever trades for that guy. James Roman in the house. Tampico James checking in from work, he says. Brooklyn Rob is in. Big O, just 2 words for you. Acorn, bro. Yeah, but it hasn't moved that much yet, So we needed to move more. Brian Landis, Big O, I'm jealous. Perdomo must smell like an absolute drink. Yeah, it is. It actually, you do get a really nice, if you like cigars, obviously, you know what I mean? So if you enjoy cigars, then you will enjoy the beautiful aroma. And by the way, you can ask him if they can give you a tour of the factory. Might give you a little tour. You can check out the millions of cigars that are in that building, man. So it's cool. Even if you're coming out of town and you're a cigar aficionado, you're coming for a Dolphins game or a Heat game or Marlins, Panthers, Inter, whatever, and you're thinking of things to do in Miami, if you're a cigar aficionado, it's something you may not realize. You can actually go to an actual cigar factory that's here in South Florida where they have the cigars stored and they ship them out from there. Obviously not where they roll them because that's rolled in Nicaragua, but obviously there where they have them and then they ship them out to the rest of the country. So it's actually a really, really cool thing. So check it out. I'm telling you, right off of 57th Avenue and the Palmetto. Yeah, baby. It is Perdomo Cigars. Who wants a $200 million contract for a guy who looks like Biggie Smalls? Exactly. I agree. Zion Ingram's a player. At least Ingram I'd take a chance on. But Zion, Ingram makes a lot of sense. Zion makes no sense. Rum, tobacco, and Norshad Omer, the best things to come out of Nicaragua. Yes, I am Nicaraguan. All right. Nice job by you, James. All right. What about a Davidoff, Big O? I've never been much of a Davidoff fan. Not impressed with it. I think it's the most overrated cigar on the planet. It tastes like grass. And not the good one, like the bad one, like the one that you walk on all day. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Davidoffs, to be totally honest. I think it's an incredibly overpriced cigar. Okay? So, yeah, not a Davidoff guy. Never been one. There was one Davidoff that they made. I forgot the name of it, and they made it like 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And it had, maybe 10, and it had Cuban seed in it, and it had a strong flavor. I forgot exactly which Davidoff that was because normally most Davidoffs are light flavored cigars. In fact, they're flavorless. They're not very flavorful. You know what I'm saying? Not like when you grab a champagne from Perdomo or a Maduro. You know what I'm saying? Or a sun grown, and it's just rich all the way through. You know what I'm saying? I think Davidoff is incredibly overrated and overpriced too, in a big time way. That's right, Dennis Martinez. How can you leave out El Presidente? You can't leave out El Presidente. That's like a crime, dude. Chad is in the house. James says, I'm 47. I've never smoked a stogie. Am I missing out? No. I can't tell you are. Maybe. You might enjoy it. You might not. I think it all depends. Everybody's different, man. Some may like to smoke a cigar. Some may not. Some may like a light cigar, not a medium. Maybe a medium, not a full. Some people like full body cigars, not medium or light. Some can deal with all of them. So we're all different. It's something that you're going to have to try. So I can't say that you missed it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not everybody. Like, he doesn't like to smoke cigars, right? So Sean's not going to smoke a cigar with me, but I have no problem grabbing a glass of wine and lighting up a stogie and kicking back and chilling out. Because one of the things I love about cigars, it's very relaxing. Very relaxing. Big O, ever smoke a Gurkha? Yes, and I'm not a Gurkha fan either. I think very overrated too. Yes, sir.
What you asked me about before we went on the air?
Yes. What was it?
100% true.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, that.
I got the New York Post right here.
Okay, so because somebody sent it in, I forgot which one. I think it might have been one of our I think it might have been two a time. I'm not sure, but he said something that apparently Antonio Brown's team has lost the home. I think. Go ahead.
So after acquiring the Albany Empire, new team owner Antonio Brown paid the Empire's April assessment. The assessment, every team in the league, the 7 teams break down the operating cost. That's what they call the assessment. And then every team's accountable for their portion of the assessment. So he paid April's assessment. The team then failed to make their May 15th assessment. And last week, just before the Empire's game in Orlando, the league was notified that the April assessment was being challenged. That payment was subsequently credited back to Mr. Brown. The league informed his accountant, Alex Gunaris, who in previous communications requested that the league communicate directly to Mr. Gunaris regarding financial obligations with the Empire. Mr. Gunaris was informed of the league's attempts to collect the delinquent assessments, and he communicated to the league that it didn't seem like Mr. Brown was going to pay the assessment or the $1,000 fine that was levied against him.
Right. Well, he doesn't pay anything.
So today, they gave them till Thursday to make the payment at noon. There was a league conference call. And during the call, it was decided to give the Empire until Thursday at noon to make the payment, after which time the league will be forced to cancel their home game with Jacksonville and terminate their membership in the National Arena League effective immediately. Unfortunately, Mr. Brown failed to meet the deadline to his team's required financial obligations, and as a result, the league has terminated his membership agreement. The league will be adjusting the rest of the 2023 schedule. I want to thank you for your continued support. Antonio Brown then tweets out Major League, not minors.
Right. And Antonio Brown is just a clown, bro. That's all. He's just a clown. And I feel bad for those coaches and those players, because those guys are trying to make a living. They're trying to do something that they love. And here comes one of the biggest losers of all time in the history of sports. And, this guy is just a piece of shit. That's all. That's what Antonio Brown is. He's just a loser, bro. And he just doesn't deserve any sympathy, any understanding, nothing whatsoever. And why anybody would get into business with that guy is beyond me, dude. Really. So what a shame. I feel really bad for the coaches and the players. Really bad. Not surprised, because obviously Antonio Brown's a clown. What a fool, dude. I mean, wow. This is, when you talk about king size moron, that's Antonio Brown. I don't think there are very few. I think there's very few dumber human beings on earth than Antonio Brown. Put it that way. What a scumbag. What a piece of crap. Brian Landis says, Perdomo 20th anniversary red label is my favorite. Oh, rich, full flavored, burns for about 2 hours. Amen. Love the red label. I still have the original red labels from years ago. And I have them in a humidor, and I enjoy one every once in a while. Once in a while, I think the last time I freaked Nick out, I brought one like a couple years ago to his place. And he goes, remember these? He goes, you still have those? And I go, yeah, man. These things are just amazing, because that blend, this was years ago, was awesome. And it was so awesome that I loaded up on boxes. And I said, that's all right. I'm going to just leave them in the humidor aging, and I'll be fine. And every once in a while, I enjoy those. But yeah, I'm with you. Those are phenomenal smokes, man. What a wasted talent. Guy could have been one of the best if he didn't let his ego get in the way. Yeah, he's just an idiot. Exactly, King Short. Who let him get ownership? It's like Conor McGregor. Why would you do anything with Conor McGregor? So you see that stunt goes awry, and now, by the way, he's being sued now, Conor McGregor. And I just read where he is having another child with his girl. I don't know if it's his girlfriend or wife. I'm not exactly sure. But Conor McGregor now is being sued for sexual assault. Okay? All right? That's so it's the same thing. It's like, why would you get in business with Antonio Brown, and why would you want to actually have a any kind of relationship with Conor McGregor? Because everything that guy does always ends up bad. And by the way, the Heat are tied to this one. He's been accused of raping a woman at Game 4 of the NBA Finals earlier this month. He denies the allegations. According to demand letters authored by attorney Ariel Mitchell, they were sent to McGregor, the NBA, and the Miami Heat this week. The incident happened just after the Nuggets had won 108-95, June 9th at the Kaseya Center. McGregor played a big part in the entertainment at that game. He sat at courtside seats and even participated in a halftime skit where he punched a Heat mascot multiple times while promoting his Tittle Sports Recovery Spray. But according to the letters obtained by TMZ, at one point later during the evening, he violently sexually assaulted a woman inside a men's bathroom. In the letters, Mitchell claims that the NBA and Heat security helped separate the woman from her friend and then forced her into the restroom with that McGregor and his security guard were already inside of. I have a hard time believing this already. Heat security helped separate the woman from her friend and then forced her into a room. I cannot see Heat security doing that. Yeah, that's NBA. Exactly. I just, the NBA and Heat security, this sounds really, really bogus. But we shall see. In the letters, Mitchell says security refused to let the woman exit or allow anyone else, including her friend, inside the bathroom. The lawyer then claims McGregor emerged from inside the handicap stall and shoved his tongue in the victim's mouth aggressively and kissed her. And according to the letters, the woman was able to get McGregor off of her by telling him she had to urinate. But then McGregor allegedly forced her to have oral sex with him. McGregor, 34, is then accused of grabbing the woman and pinning her against the wall before attempting to sodomize her. Mitchell says in the letter the woman was able to elbow McGregor repeatedly, which gave her a window to escape. Yeah, of course, because, your elbows are going to crush McGregor. I just, this sounds, brother, if this happened, like the Heat need to get fined, my God, like the next 5 first-round picks you take away from them if they allowed something like that to happen in their building. Yeah, put Harrison, but just put Harrison on, put the entire Harrison family, like you're on double secret probation. You can't be around the team for 2 years. I have a hard time believing this. All right. So we'll see if any of it is true. In today's world, you don't know what to believe. Him or her, her or her, him or him, whatever the combination is. I don't know who to believe in this. Conor McGregor has zero credibility, so he can't be believed at all. But it just sounds kind of like a crazy story that NBA and Heat security helped force the woman in there. Dude, I have been in that building, both buildings, the Miami Arena and the AAA, a crap ton. I can tell you that, boy, Heat security, I can never see them doing that. That would be beyond criminal, beyond disgusting. It just sounds like a crazy story, man. Wow. Would you agree AB is probably screwed up with CTE? Could be part of the reason why he's so crazy? Or he just could be an asshole, man. I don't believe Brandon Marshall has mental issues. How do you like them apples? I think Brandon Marshall is a con artist, a liar, and he's just a bad human being and uses mental issues and CTE. I the part I hate about what goes on in our society, we give people too many breaks. Too many breaks. And that's the problem. And this CTE thing, we blame everything on CTE now. Maybe some people are just bad human beings. Anybody ever think about that? Maybe you're just an asshole. Maybe you're just a terrible human being. It's not CTE. You're not crazy. You want to act crazy. You want to say you have CTE, but you're just an evil person. That's all it is. And to me, it's not anything more than that. You're just a bad dude, bro. Because you don't try to be good. It's constantly. So that tells me that you just effed up. And some people just aren't wired right. So some people are just bad. Some people are just criminals. Some people maybe have CTE. Maybe they're crazy, but they're not all crazy, and they all don't have CTE, and they all don't suffer from depression. That's my problem with all of this. There's too many escape clauses for your screw-ups or your mental weaknesses. Okay? Yes.
One of the things that got me, and I wanted to go to the article real quick to make sure I said this right, with the article about the lawsuit against Conor McGregor.
Right.
It says, in the letters which were sent following the woman's meeting with cops, Mitchell said the woman is seeking settlements with the NBA, the Heat, and McGregor in lieu of litigation.
Sounds even fishier. Because you don't think about a settlement at first. The settlement comes after, when you've hit some kind of a roadblock or something in your case. But if anything, you want to take them to court because you want to thoroughly expose them, not just some settlement and then they'll pay you on the side. You sign a confidentiality agreement and nobody knows. No, you'd rather take them to court. If you were really violated, you want to take them to court, embarrass them, and then sue them on top of all of that. So it's a double whammy. You get your money and you bury them. If you're already looking for a settlement right from the get-go, yeah, that again, that doesn't smell. None of this smells. Dude, NBA and Heat security are going to help get this woman raped?
Wouldn't this be something, though? I know
this is like a movie, bro.
I know not the bathroom area. But wouldn't you there's video, there's got to be somewhere on the concourse
everywhere
that you could see automatically if that happened.
Everywhere there's video, except inside the bathroom.
Well, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Inside the bathroom, no, but you would see if
any hallway has
the security separated or something.
Has to be there, bro. Has to be there, dude. Has to be. I've been to that arena. Okay? No. You just no, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This would be the wildest story in the history of the Heat organization if this would happen, if this is really true. No, I just can't believe it. Yeah, mental health, while very important, is overused. Everything is overused, bro. CTE is overused. Okay, he's crazy or she's crazy is overused. Depression is overused. The worst part about it is we can't prove either. But I do know this. There's no way everybody's crazy. There's no way everybody's depressed. And there's no way everybody has CTE. There's a whole bunch of people that are just lazy, bad people, evil, criminal, whatever it is. Okay? That's all. It's just, but unfortunately, can't prove it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to allow Antonio Brown off the hook for that. Not with all the incidents that he has. I'm not allowing the Brandon Marshalls of the world off the hook. You know, throughout his whole career, what he just did, you know, in his business here, all that kind of stuff, you know, it's just too much. Too much. And I'm not quick to give people that kind of a break. You know, usually if you are that, maybe you should, you know, show some more remorse and you're actually trying to fix yourself instead of you're constantly being a disaster. I just think some people are lost. They're irresponsible or they're just bad people. That's all. We have good people in this world and we have bad people in this world. We have people that care about each other and we have other people that don't care at all about each other. About anybody, I'm sorry. Let's see. Big O doesn't say the R word on YouTube. What's the R word? I don't know what the R word is. Oh, apparently, Marcellus, you have no balls either. You can't write it. Nobody cares who you are, bro. Why don't you write it, Marcellus? Well, apparently, Big O's afraid to say the R word on YouTube. Okay, maybe I am. And maybe, we've got a name and we've got something, so we've got something to lose. But Marcellus, nobody knows who the hell you are. Why don't you just spell it out, dude? Because apparently your BBs haven't dropped either. Good afternoon, Big O. Have you seen the new YouTube show from Eddie Trunk? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I saw the Corey Taylor interview. I saw. God, what were? Yes, I've been watching with Jim Florentine and all three guys are back, man. They had Coverdale on. I saw the Coverdale one. God, I've seen a couple already, but yes, I'm watching it. Yes, I'm watching. I love it. I love those guys. I should get Jim Florentine on. He and I go back and forth on Twitter and stuff. I had him on once a long time ago. He's a big Dolphins fan. I love that show. So yes, I am watching it, Mike. I saw that they brought it back, and I thought that was the coolest thing, and so I have been watching it. So yeah, and I'm not even a Slipknot guy, and I watched Corey Taylor and all that. I saw Corey with his other band Sour or whatever back in Jersey with Slipknot. What is it? Skillet, and there was another band in there. There's like 4 bands. It was a really good concert. So yeah, Stone Sour. That's it. That's his other band. Thank you. Yeah, Jim Florentine is awesome, dude. He's awesome. I love all 3 of those guys. They do. To me, that metal show was just magic, bro. And how it kept evolving and how they would bring on musicians to just play the rejoiners. That was freaking awesome when they would do that, man. For us music guys and girls out there, that is a fantastic show. So yeah, I am definitely watching that Mike No Go Zones. By the way, did I see that you were in Ukraine? Did I watch a video of you in Ukraine, you crazy bastard? Is that true? Because I think I saw was it Twitter or was it IG, or I saw a piece of you walking, and I swear I think you were in Kyiv. I'm not sure. Is that true? Did you do did you do one from Ukraine? Because I gotta go to your site and check that out, bro. If you did that one, because I did see that the other day while I was surfing, and yes, I was in Kyiv, Ukraine. You really go to all the no-go zones, bro. You are the best. You got balls of steel, dude. Seriously. I mean, you'll go to Kyiv, you'll go to Baltimore, you'll go to Detroit. You'll go anywhere in our country or other countries, places that nobody will go to. Mike No Go Zones goes there. If you haven't seen his site, go to Mike No Go Zones on YouTube. Please subscribe. He's a friend and a big supporter of our platform. He's been on our show. I should bring you on to talk a little bit about this stuff, but you guys should check it out. He does things that nobody does, bro. Nobody does. He goes to neighborhoods that we're all afraid of, that we talk about, and he's like in the neighborhood going, it's not that bad. What's wrong with you people? You wussies? That kind of stuff. He's amazing, dude. He is amazing. He should try deep Appalachian mountains. Okay. Chicago, he's probably been at Chicago. Probably has already been at Chicago. But I'm telling you, he goes to places. It doesn't matter where it's at, bro. Iraq. He goes everywhere. Doesn't matter. He's been to the Middle East, to several countries already there. He's a beast. All right. Big O, when will you and Sean go see the Dolphins practice? Sean didn't. I just went to mini camp last week, my man. Sean didn't go because he didn't want to. He boycotted it. That's all. Right? Is that
Yes.
That's it. He boycotted it. All right. It is 3:30. Marcel Louis Jacques is ready to go. Let's do it. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend that is Marcel Louis Jacques.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis Jacques is in session.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis Jacques.
Oh, man.
All right. There we go. Let's get that billboard off his face.
I was about to say, dang, man.
It's like
I could have just called in if you're not going to show my face.
It's like on 6/8 of your face, bro. Like most everything was gone, bro. It was like just a little sliver was available there. All right. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Feeling pretty good, man. Just filed a story today. As soon as I would say it's coming out tomorrow, but I'm not positive it's coming out tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Monday. But everybody's favorite subject, man, Tua Tagovailoa.
All right.
Looking a little bit into not just him on the field, looking at what he's done off the field this offseason, notably the jiu-jitsu element of his training, what it's entailed, how it might help, what inspired it, how they got to that decision. Looking forward to getting to share it with you. It's always a good feeling getting something out of my head and onto a page, onto paper, quote unquote paper. That was like 1,900 words of just weight off my shoulders. So looking forward to that actually coming out.
So let me ask you, did you ever think of going the extra mile, Marcel Louis Jacques? And hey, you know what? I'm going to go to this dojo, whatever it's called, and go sign up and take some jujitsu or judo for a month or two and see how you got to learn how to fall. And then, and then you can write about what Tua's learning how to fall. Did you ever think of a guy like you, spry, in shape, to try to do that yourself?
I did the next best thing, which is I drove 45 minutes out to Coconut Creek.
Okay.
Up to
All-American, whatever.
American training.
American training, yeah. American top
American
team.
top team, that's it. American top team. And talked to Kayla Harrison, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 19-time judoka gold medalist in various international competitions outside the Olympics. She made it interesting. So you know how Tua he misspoke early on this offseason, said that he was training in judo. She actually said, so that's how me and Kayla got hooked up. And she said judo would actually be more beneficial to him than jiu-jitsu, because while they both are related, judo is more taking somebody to the ground while you're standing up. Jiu-jitsu, you're on your back, you're grappling, you're on the ground. She said you don't play football on your back. So judo would ironically be the better thing for him, although jiu-jitsu does have elements that will help him as well. She said there's no wrong answer, but judo probably would have been her choice. She also said that she was a little biased because that is her trade, that is her art form. So
I took judo up to orange belt, and the first thing you learn is how to fall.
That's what she said. The first lesson is how to fall, how to break your fall, disperse your weight, all that. And based on what Tua told us about his training regimen, it kind of sounds like he was training in judo anyway. Like it didn't sound like jiu-jitsu, except for he did say he was grappling, but he's like, I'm learning how to control fall, how to tuck my chin, how to shift my weight.
It's boring.
It sounded like judo.
It's boring shit. Because you first, like through your white belt, it is a common practice all throughout your white belt. At least that's what our sensei did. And then when you got to yellow, you still started off the session with a couple of rolls and falls. So it just keeps going. It's just one of those things. It's embedded into you once you take judo. You know what I mean? And by the way, it will stick with you for the rest of your life. You know, I'm sure once you get too old, you won't be able to roll, but as long as you've got some flexibility and you did judo for a while, it helped me actually in times that I've actually fallen, where I've been able to roll and break the fall and maybe not even hurt myself. I remember once where I was skiing and I got released. I got released. I released too late from the boat. And so it's one of those where you want to ski up onto the shore, right? So I let go and I go, oh shit, I'm going too fast. So when I got to the sand, the skis stopped, dude, and I rolled and because I went forward, I dove and rolled. And when I rolled and I stopped and I got up, it was right in front of a rock. I was, oh shit. If I didn't know how to roll and fall, I probably would have ran right into the rock.
There you go. Life applications right there.
Yeah. So it will help. It's not going to help you in every scenario because you're not always going to be in control of your body. Like I think the Green Bay one is going to be hard for him on that one. You know what I mean? But having the stronger shoulders and the stronger neck, and we see it, right? Because everybody's now saying, hey, he looks a little like Russell Wilson now, right? Because he has that. That's going to able to help him control his head whenever he is falling, and it won't be that same shock that he normally gets. So that's a good thing for him too. I still think he should get the neck roll for the hell of it.
I don't know. Can you
Steve Grogan?
Can you still? I don't know.
Grogan.
Man.
Steve Grogan.
I think.
Grogan.
I don't know. I think adding that in at this point in your career is dangerous.
Do me a favor, Sean, when you sit down here, pull up a Steve Grogan picture with a neck thing. It actually looks freaking cool. Okay? And it's protective at the same time. But Steve Grogan for the Patriots ended up playing with one of those. He didn't start off his career with that. He ended, I want to say his last, 5, 7, 8 years in the league. He ended up having one of those rolls in his back of his neck. I'll have Sean, pull up the picture. But yeah, it's one of those things. All right. The other subject that everybody's talking about, as we reported months ago, that there will be no trade and there will be no big money for him. And there was no trade and there was no big money for him. So what happens with Dalvin Cook? Because he says he wants to be a horse. He wants big money. I think he's a little delusional. And I think his agent's done a really bad job of giving him the reality that running backs are just not really cherished in the NFL at all. I don't think he's going to get the money or the amount of carries that he thinks he wants anywhere, to be quite honest. So you tell me, what do you think is happening here?
All right. So first of all, he is still very, 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 very good. He's still one of the best running backs in the NFL, without question. So he deserves, his talent is worthy of.
So does Derrick Henry, and so does Saquon Barkley, and Aaron Jones should take a $17 million to $11 million, $6 million cap hit for a team he's done great for, and they said we can't pay you. You got to take 11, or we're going to cut your ass. Lots of running backs are dissed and disrespected, like what you're saying.
He deserves a workload like that. I just don't think it happens here per se, not without a lot of reshuffling in terms of this team's philosophy. There's a lot of mouths to feed in this offense. Now, Dalvin Cook is a better running back than Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and Devon Achane. There's no argument.
That's not even a discussion.
No argument.
No.
Yeah. That's not what we're saying here. But it's more than that. Like, it's more than just force feeding.
Tell me he doesn't look like a badass right there. Tell me he doesn't look like a badass.
Goofy as hell, bro. What are you talking about? Why is that neck
like a badass, so bro?
It looks like a giraffe.
Yeah, he didn't always. He has another one that has like a skinnier one with the points. You'll see. You'll find another one with the neck roll. But go ahead. But keep going. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I don't see that they would have to change this offensive philosophy here. They'd have to change this offensive philosophy because it's not built around one guy getting 25 carries a game. And if that's what he's looking for, I don't know if that's necessarily what they do here. Plus, any team with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, man, that's the more efficient way to move the ball. Like that's who you're playing through. You're not a run first. So I don't know. Like I said, I've always said the money has to be right. I don't break the bank here. I'm not saying go all in here.
Well, they're not going to break the bank. That's already obvious because he knows what they offered already. He knows. He knows what the Dolphins are offering. He knows exactly what they want him to do. That he's going to be part of a carousel, and they're not offering as much. And then he's just going out there to see if he can find a deal to replace what he lost in Minnesota. And I feel bad for the guy because I think it's very delusional at this point in the offseason to think you're going to go get $10 million from somewhere and that all of a sudden somebody's going to say, yeah, you're our 20 carry guy. I just don't see that, dude.
Not here, at least. Like I'm conflicted because they're very much in a window right now where you have to attack the Super Bowl run however you can. You never know how long these windows are going to be open for. So, I'm generally a big fan of just going all in. I love the Tyreek trade, love the Jalen Ramsey trade, love giving whatever money it took to get Teron Armstead. Like, do whatever it takes.
Big Fangio, bro.
Big Fangio. I do whatever it takes because you never know. Excuse me. You never know how long your window's open for. But man, you got about 13 million. I think they got about 13 million of space right now. You can't spend all of that on Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
you can't spend all of that. I'm willing to relent on spend half of it on Dalvin Cook if he's willing to go to take 6.5 even. With incentives to push it up to like 8 or 9.
I can see them giving. I don't think they even go that high. I think they're at the 4.5 range. That it'll get to 6 with incentives, or maybe 7. I don't even know if it's that high. I don't even think they'll go to 7. To be honest, I don't think they're going to go close to that because I think they want to keep themselves open to re-sign their guys, and if they can make a move for a lineman, I think they will, because I think that's the thing they're looking for. Is if there's a lineman out there, if there's a team that has an extra one and they can try to make a move for a guard or a tackle, that's what I think that they could end up doing. But a running back, I don't think they're killing themselves to add another running back because you just said it. You'd have to readjust everything you're doing, and they like their guys. They love Mostert. They love Wilson. And the head coach is the guy that wanted A-Chain, and that's obvious as hell. So that tells me he has a plan for that kid already. And if you bring in Dalvin Cook, that kind of cock blocks a lot of that stuff. And that all of a sudden you kind of make that room very uncomfortable, by the way, to be quite honest. People will be a little disappointed because they were expecting a certain workload and now they're not getting it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, although I think Mostert and Wilson are team first guys, but also, both of them recently left their last situation or asked to leave their last situation because of the role that they were getting. Like Wilson specifically, McCaffrey, when they traded for McCaffrey, Wilson asked for a trade. He said, I want out. It would essentially be the same thing, same exact thing here. It just, I don't know, it's a business. So from a purely talent standpoint, once again, if the money is right, Dalvin Cook's a no-brainer. Attack your Super Bowl window. But I've been against, shelling out big money, big compensation from the get-go.
So are you surprised that the Arena League kicked out Antonio Brown's team?
No, he's a disaster. He's a disaster, dude. Like, I assume
you heard about the story?
Yeah, I assume that in some way, shape, or form, he has invested his money, and that is how he gets more of it. But like, dude, it's a shame to see how far his career has fallen. if he, without the off-field stuff, he would still be playing today at a high level.
Yes.
Today. He'd be one of the best receivers in the NFL today. His talent never dropped off at any point, despite all the crap. His talent never dropped off. Yeah. He was impossible to deal with, impossible to work with. And everything, nothing was ever his fault.
Yeah.
It was always Bruce Arians did this. Well, Tom didn't do that. Well, they didn't go to bat for me here. Well, they didn't want. Always his fault. That tenure, the summer with the Raiders, it might. What's crazy is I feel like so much has happened in the NFL over the past 4 years that we forget about that. That, like, when's the last time you thought about that summer with the Raiders? Like, I almost forgot it happened until just now. I think that is one of the most ridiculous storylines in NFL history. In NFL history, the man didn't even make it to preseason. He didn't make it in a game.
Yeah.
Over what? Over a frozen foot and a helmet? Like,
right,
come on, bro.
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, speaking of being hard to get along with, and since you're a former, let's say enemy insider, so what's going on with the petulant Stephon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills now? What is he whining and crying about now? Because he's got his money, he gets his catches. What, he needs more catches now? What's the problem with Josh Allen now? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's from what I understood back in January. Stephon was starting to become a little unhappy with his role, with the targets he was getting or wasn't getting. I don't know what this argument is about. It's obviously not contractual and financial, and that is what I think is the most concerning. If he was a little underpaid and didn't show up or had to, was given permission to leave the facility, aka told to go home, then I think this is a non-story. Like, oh, he just wants money. He's made $24 million this year.
I know.
Making $24 million. This isn't financial. He's doing fine.
Yeah,
doing fine. So it's. I don't want to say it's mental. I think it is. It's beyond football, though. Some whatever argument they had beyond football. Either way, he's back now. I wouldn't expect this to be that big of an issue. As people say, brothers fight, teammates fight. Like, it happens. It is what it is. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I do think that Buffalo did little to nothing to improve its wide receiver core. When I think Trent Sherfield is the best receiver they added this offseason.
Right.
Gabe Davis he's not number 2.
No.
That 300-yard game or whatever, 3-touchdown game against Kansas City in the playoffs a couple years ago was fool's gold. He's a
those other guys are all 3s and 4s. Is what they have. They don't have a 2. They don't have a 2 on that team.
I think Gabe Davis is a 3. He's not consistent enough to be a number 2. He's got the talent of a number 2, but we just haven't seen it consistently enough.
And what was the other guy's name? The third guy also?
I think Khalil Shakir.
There was another guy.
He develops Trent Sherfield. If he might actually.
Why do I think there's an I in his name?
I do feel like they did. Did they draft somebody this year?
Isaiah something? Didn't they or something? There's no, not Isaiah Wilson. There was a third guy, dude, besides Gabe Davis and obviously Diggs. Bro, who's the third guy?
They used to have Isaiah Hodgins, and now he's blowing up with the Giants.
Not Isaiah Hodgins. There's somebody else. Man, why am I brain farting? Somebody help us out there. There was another guy there that they had. Maybe did he leave?
Oh, Isaiah McKenzie. He's gone.
Isaiah McKenzie. That's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's in Indy now.
Right. All those guys were 3s and 4s. Is what they were. They really didn't have a guy that was supposed to be a 2.
So they're hoping, Dalton Kincaid, they didn't add a receiver per se, but they added a pass catcher, somebody who, could act and operate as a number 2 target. But that wide receiver room is still not very good. I talk about this with my friends up in Buffalo all the time. Even last year, the Dolphins skill players it's not even a comparison. They have better skill players.
Oh God, yeah, no, it's secondary. That's the other thing. Like sometimes fans tell me, "Well, aren't you worried about the Jets or aren't you worried about Aaron Rodgers?" I said, "No, because they now have X and Jalen Ramsey and Javon Holland, and Holland's healthy, and now you give me a healthy X to go along with Jalen Ramsey. I'm not afraid of any wide receiving core in the NFL, quite frankly, with those guys right now." So I kind of look at Miami getting way better in their secondary than the teams did on offense in that division. That's kind of way I look at it.
There are some
and Jalen Ramsey, get the hell out of here.
There are some wide receiver rooms who I think, if I'm Vic Fangio or if I'm a Dolphins fan, like, I don't necessarily sleep peacefully the night before. Like, I don't sleep peacefully the night before a Bengals game
in the
or before in the AFC East. No, the AFC East. No,
that's my point.
In the NFL, period. I think Bengals. I think the Chargers receiving core is going to be a nightmare for people just because of that size. Seattle, but you don't have to worry about
guys are healthy. If these two guys are healthy, they can cover size because
they can cover size. I didn't say it's a total mismatch. I'm saying, like, that's not a, you're not playing the Texans. It's not the Panthers. You're not as relaxed the night before as you are if you're going against Adam Thielen and who's the number 2 in Carolina. It's exactly my point. Like, it's not the same feeling as going up against, let's say, Kevin Bourne and Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar and Juju Smith-Schuster. Like,
I got to tell you, I don't know what, and I'm glad because to me the wheels are falling off in New England. I don't care what anybody tells me. That organization continues to take one step back after another, and if they really go after D-Hop, then that shows me how desperate they are because they can never get receivers. And he doesn't have that top end speed anymore that he's had, in the past. But it shows you how desperate they are because they have been going into free agency the last 3 years more than they had the 10 years prior. I mean, really, it shows you how bad they are and how desperate they are to win. I think that place is going to hell.
Yeah, my bad. I dropped the pen I was fiddling with and dropped it on Morty, and he did not like that at all. But did not. He was basically asleep. So I'm trying to calm him down. Yeah, trying to calm him down off camera. He did not appreciate that at not one bit.
It's all right. You say the one thing I do tell my wife about this, that sometimes when you wake up the dog accidentally or whatever, I always turn and say, they're sleeping 16 hours a day, dude. So relax. Don't worry about it. They get a lot more than we do, actually, because they like to sleep a lot. So yeah, they're in a good place. All right. Outside of the Tua story, anything else you're working on ESPN?
Oh man, actually going to try to start helping out with some Leo Messi Inter Miami coverage. So
look at you.
This is why we came to Miami, man. More than just Dolphins.
That's how big Messi is. They get their football guy to cover football.
Hey, I don't know the MLS that well, but I know.
Hey, just hang around Michelle Kaufman, who, by the way, is going to join us in 5 minutes. Franco Panizo, great people. Okay, they've got all kinds of people on that beat that do an awesome job. Alex Winley is exceptional. She's very smart. She knows her shit, dude. She is awesome. So hang around those people when you're on the beat, and you'll be all right. You'll be good. Follow their lead, and you'll be good. You'll have some fun. Hey, man, at least you're not covering something boring. Okay, Messi is.
It's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Number one athlete
historic
in the history of South Florida sports, dude. Like, this guy crushes Marino, Wade, Zoe, and Zonka combined. It's like, it doesn't matter. You can get all the athletes, LeBron, throw everybody in there. They don't equal to Messi.
No, it is crazy though that there's a short list, we'll call it. I don't know about a Mount Rushmore, but there's a short list of athletes who completely and totally transcend their sport internationally. I'm not just talking about like, oh, Mike Trout or Aaron Judge.
No.
I mean, like,
Right.
you don't know, you might not know a thing about American football, but you know who Tom Brady is.
Right.
You might not follow the NBA, but you know who LeBron James is. You knew who Michael Jordan was.
Right.
You don't know the average American. If you don't know a thing about soccer other than you can't use your hands,
right?
They know Messi, they know Ronaldo.
That's right.
And two of those, we'll call them just for the sake of the argument, the Mount Rushmore athletes. Two of them have played in Miami or are going to be have played in Miami, with LeBron 10 years ago and now Messi as soon as he signs his contract.
Well, we could say 3, but you're not old enough. But Pelé played here because he
played in New York.
He played for the Cosmos, but then he visited the Strikers here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, well, I didn't know that part.
There you go. So we've had visits from the greatest of the greats. No, but this reminds me of the Pelé thing, 40 times over. Okay, because when he came to America, it was the biggest thing also. But soccer wasn't nearly as big as it is now, because now young people, I'm talking about American young people, are watching international soccer. They are going out of their way to be fans of the Premiership and La Liga and all that kind of stuff. You're one of them. So, people like you, young people like you have gotten to, really appreciate international soccer. MLS, it's still a work in progress for everybody, but soccer now is so much more accepted than it was back in the late 70s and early 80s. So yeah, this is crazy, dude. What did they add on Instagram? Did they add 8 million followers now already?
I think last time I checked, when I checked last week, they were at 7.
Right. I think it's 8 now. I think they've added 8 million followers just from adding Messi. That's
one of the most followed. I think they're like the 5th or 6th most followed.
Well, number 1 in the country.
American sports account.
No, number 1 in the country. They
got more than like Cowboys and Warriors.
Everybody. They're number 1 now. Yeah. By the way, they were already number 1 in traffic before this. I don't know if you knew that. Before Messi, they were number 1 in traffic because of international, because of Beckham. So they already had more social media traffic than all other pro teams in America. With Messi, oh my God. Now they're going to go into the Barcelona. They're going to get into the Manchester United. They're going to be in that realm now with those people. That's the kind of Man City, shit like, you know what I'm talking about. You follow it, that kind of stuff. Now Inter is going to enter into that territory now with those people. That's crazy.
8.1 million. But the thing is, like, hold on, let me see. Like, so Barcelona, let's look it up.
Well, Barcelona has to have more, right?
Yeah, but look, the thing I've learned about Instagram is there are more followers on this app, more users of this app than you think, than you realize, and especially internationally. Like, soccer players, soccer stars, soccer teams, internet, the popularity is beyond what we can comprehend here. FC Barcelona has 122 million followers. 122 million followers. It ain't there is not an American sports franchise that exists right now that's sniffing those numbers at any point.
Amen. It's crazy stuff. All right, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. As always, we will catch up down the line, my friend. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Marcel Louis Jacques, Welt Rheaume. I was just talking to Jeff Welt, folks. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. They handle it all, folks. That's why I'm telling you, call Welt Rheaume. They are in Hollywood. If you're dealing with any damage, if you're dealing with an insurance company and you're tired of it, they're giving you the runaround, stop calling them. Call Welt Rheaume, let them take over, and they will bring the insurance companies to their knees like they did with us when Progressive was screwing or trying to screw us. And Welt Rheaume put the screws on them, and we got what we needed to fix our home. They'll do the same thing for you. Doesn't matter where you live, folks. The consultation is free. One of our listeners in Orlando just hired Welt Rheaume. So give them a ring, 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646 for Welt Rheaume.
This has been another session of the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt Rheaume can help.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hour number 2, we're going to start it off in a first-class fashion with the one and only Michelle Kaufman. How you doing? How was Paris?
Paris was great. We were 4 days in Provence and 4 days in Paris. And, my vacation got interrupted by Lionel Messi. But other than that, it was a perfect, absolutely perfect vacation.
Was that your first time? Oh, no, because you've gone for tennis
No.
events and stuff like that, and you've probably gone.
Yeah.
You've gone a few
Yeah,
times.
the France World Cup, 1998 French World Cup. I was there 5 weeks.
I got to tell you, I had a bitch of a time in the Eiffel Tower because when I went the last time, I went for our 25th wedding anniversary.
Mhm.
So I took the wife to dinner there in the Eiffel Tower, right? And we got a window
Oh.
seat and everything. And so I had to sneak in a ring because I gave her a brand new ring for our 25th wedding anniversary. Get rid of the original ring and give her a new one for the 25th. I figured that would be, dinner. And the night before, by the way, I took her on a dinner on the glass boat on the Seine. So that was
Nice.
very nice.
Very good.
I came
Very
through big. I
nice.
came through. But
You
you
came
know that
big
in the Eiffel
time.
Tower
Yeah.
there are 2 metal detectors, not one, but you've got to go through 2 of them. Okay.
Oh.
So I had the ring. So I had,
Oh.
luckily it was cold then. So I go and I had a jacket on. So I had this big old jacket on. So I took off the jacket. I had the ring in the side pocket. So I put the jacket through and it rings. Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh.
So I but I had my wife behind me, and I'm a big dude. She's 5'3", I think, something like that. So she's small behind me, so she can't see over me. So I turn the jacket and I reach into the pocket and I take out the keys that I had and the ring, and I show it to him, and he goes, "Oh, okay, no, go ahead." And he played it off perfectly, so she didn't know. And then I'm walking, and then I realized there's a second one, and I go, "Oh my God, I gotta pull this off again." And luckily they went with it. You know, they played along, and my wife never found out. I got the maitre d'. I gave him my phone, and I had him filming me because I told him the wife, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom." So I went and told the maitre d'. I have the video. I'll send it to you once. And I had him filming me coming up the stairs and going out to the table and giving her the ring so we can have
nice, very nice.
I nailed
Very
it.
good.
And our hotel was literally next to the tower too, on top of all of that. So it was just like you walk out to the balcony and the tower's like right in your face. It was just awesome, man. It was I nailed it, Michelle. I nailed it.
Very good. Nailed it. Yes.
25 years. Now I got the pressure. It's 30 next year. How long is it for you and Dave?
We've been married. This will be 27 years this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're right around the same. Yeah.
We're right around the same. Yeah. Yeah. Next March 18th will be 30 years for us, man.
Okay.
That is crazy stuff. All right. By the way, bless you, because you wrote the article that I just talked about a few days before that. And I think more of us need to talk about that. I love that Messi's coming here. You love that Messi's coming here. Everybody loves that Messi's coming here. Maybe Busquets too is coming here and all that. But they're not going to lead you to the MLS Cup. You're going to need other people, and that's something that they've got to do. They've really got to strengthen this team up around him and provide the pieces. It's not just Tua that needs the pieces to win, or Aaron Rodgers or any other player. Messi too, no matter how good he is. We've seen it in this league. Stars come like Chicharito, and they struggle at times because they have to adjust.
That's been a disaster. And even David Beckham, it took a while. Took a while when they brought David Beckham. There was a lot of hoopla. They filled the stadiums. They sold a lot of shirts, but they did not win.
Too. That's the thing with Beckham. He's not a scorer like Chicharito and Messi. You know what I'm saying? So that his adjustment was even worse than these guys.
Yeah. So I mean, it's we saw what happened. I mean, on a smaller scale, but Gonzalo Higuain, when he came here, he was going to be the big scorer, and he was going to fix all the problems. And it took him a year and a half to get adjusted to this league and to get in shape and and everything. So I mean, it's not, and they don't even have they haven't named the coach yet. I mean, this is a team that
so it's not Data. So it's not Data.
Well, that's the leading candidate, but that's not that's not a done deal.
Okay.
But that's he's considered a leading candidate, but there are other candidates. I just have not been able to find out who they are. But I think he is the leading candidate, but I'm digging around just to know who else they might be talking to. But I mean, this is a team that is in its fourth year, and it's still a team in flux. It seems like every week, every 2 weeks, there's a new lineup. There's someone's going, someone's coming. Last year they brought 19 new players. 19 new players last year was the complete reboot in 2021 or 2022, I guess. Complete reboot, 2022, 19 new players. And now this year, you look at this year's team, and there are only a few players on this year's team that were starting last year. So it's been a team in flux that they have not really had an opportunity, these players, to gel and to get to know each other as a team. And it's been a revolving door, and partly because of injuries. I mean, Gregory, that was a huge injury right at the beginning of the year.
That was crippling, man. Crippling.
And then Mota. So you've got your two Brazilian starting midfielders, both out, for 6 months. And now Coco Jean is out for the whole rest of the year. He's out. He's having ACL surgery. He's out. So that's 3 guys with potentially season-ending injuries from the starting lineup right there. And then Joseph Martinez and Campana have not been the lethal forward tandem that they promised either. So you've got 2 guys who haven't been scoring what they're supposed to be scoring. You've got 3 midfielders with season-ending injuries. You have 2 teenagers, bless their hearts, two local teenagers, an 18-year-old from Key Biscayne and a 19-year-old from Little Havana starting, and then they're bringing in Messi, and probably Busquets. So, I mean, it's still going to be, it's not like he's just going to waltz in. Now he's amazing. And I don't know, he scored a goal this morning
Yeah, you
against
saw that?
Australia. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
He's Messi. He just won the World Cup. He's still
So
amazing.
magical. So magical.
But I don't think he's going to come in and just,
Nope.
take the team from the bottom to the top. I just don't think that happens. If it does, it's an amazing story, but that's going to be very difficult.
So, Michelle, first of all, let's explain to everybody, when are you expecting Messi to get here officially for the team?
Yeah. I think he will be arriving sometime between the first and second week of July, from what I can gather from everybody I've talked to. He's in China for that game. He's leaving China. He's going back to Argentina. He's not going to play the game in Indonesia Monday night, which they are very disappointed over there because I think they sold 77,000 tickets. He's not going to play in that game. So he's going to go back to Argentina. He's going to do on the 25th of June a tribute game for Welt Rheaume, who was one of his teammates. And they do these like tribute games or whatever. He's going to participate somehow in that. I think that's on June 25th. He's going to take vacation time with his family for a few weeks. The official, listen, he has not signed a contract yet. Okay. We're talking, blah, 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 blah. There is no contract yet. Okay. There are still negotiations going on with Apple, between him and Apple, between him and Adidas, between him and Inter Miami. I mean, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of demands.
A lot of lawyers involved in this. Yes.
A lot of lawyers involved and a lot of demands. And this is not this, to be honest, I think it was a premature announcement on June 7th. I'm not really sure who advised him to make that announcement out of the blue, to a Spanish station that, that he's obviously tight with, but to make that announcement on June 7th before anything is even final, it kind of threw everybody into, a frenzy. It would have been wiser, I think, to wait until there's actually something to announce.
By the way, has Inter finally sold out their stadium for the second half?
They haven't. They're not on. The tickets are not on sale yet.
Not
the
yet.
Tickets are not on sale. No. The tickets are not on sale. You cannot buy a ticket.
You know what? You got to wait for that You are right. You got to wait for that contract to be signed. So then you can really start selling the tickets, because then you can live up to your promises and the amount of money that you're going to charge for those tickets, because you're going to be charging.
Right. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they are the only team, which I did write this early in the season for those who have been following me.
Yes,
I wrote early in the season that two clues that they were planning for his potential arrival, whether it came to be or not, they were planning in the sense that, number one, nobody is wearing number 10 or number 5, okay, on the team. And number two, that they only had season game tickets for sale until July 1st. No other team in entire MLS did that. They are the only one. All the other teams, if you want to buy a ticket for August, September, October, you can buy a ticket everywhere in the United States except Inter Miami. The ticket sales end, single tickets, on July 1st. So this was an anticipation that if this were to happen, they're planning to add 3,000 seats in the corners. Okay, they're going to build out the corners.
All corners? No, they can't do one with the Heineken Center.
The fourth corner, right? So 3 corners. They can close out 3 corners. They're anticipating 3,000 extra seats being added. So, they have to wait for all of these configurations to be able to put these tickets for sale and then figure out the prices and all that stuff. So there's, now I can tell you that the tickets for the road games, those are going like crazy because, those tickets are for sale. So if you're in Charlotte or in New York, you're in DC, you're in Chicago, you can buy tickets to see Messi. And those tickets are selling at 1,000% increase than they were last Tuesday. But we're waiting, for everything to happen. What I anticipate is that he will arrive sometime in early to mid-July. And the target is for him to play his first game at Drive Pink on July 21st, which is the Nations League, new tournament that they're doing between the MLS and the La Liga Liga MX Mexico. That's a new tournament, and they're trying to get publicity for that tournament, and it's going to be on Apple. So what better way to kick off that tournament than having Leo Messi play his opening game on the opening day of that tournament against Cruz Azul? So that's the plan as far as I can see. Now, like I said, they're still negotiating. There is no contract yet. There could be, holdups. There could be snags. I don't know. But as far as I can see, that's kind of the working schedule that I'm going with.
Oh, you went.
Oh, I cut off?
There we go. You cut off.
Okay.
That's what you're going with? What?
Yeah, that's the schedule that I'm going with. That's the
Okay,
schedule I'm going with. So I can't say 100% that that's what's happening. I can tell you that from the people that I've spoken to and what I've gathered, let me just put it this way. I was just called for jury duty
Oh, God.
for July 5th, starting date July 5th. I changed that. I changed that just to be safe. I pushed it back to October. I'm hoping things will be quieter by October. For right now, it is going to be a complete circus. They're going to have to increase security. They're going to have to increase the media seating by a lot. There's only 20 seats in that press box. They're going to have over 1,000, I'm sure, credential requests, hundreds of credential requests. The security is not adequate for Leo Messi at this point with that stadium. And when they travel and everything, I mean, it's going to be an adjustment the way it was with the LA Galaxy when Beckham came. You know, there are hordes of fans who just show up, who don't even have tickets, who just want to see him in the parking lot. You know,
Right.
it's going to be a zoo. It's going to be a zoo, and it's going to
Parking
be a
is already
circus.
a mess in that place. It's already
Yes.
a messy in that place. It's going to
Yeah.
get even messier in that
It's going to get
place.
messier.
Okay.
It's going to messier.
Yeah.
And right now, the yellow lot that they had been using, which is the big dirt lot on the south side, that is currently not being able to be used because they're in a little feud with the city of Fort Lauderdale about permits for that lot. So they have had to now move people to park across the street and in other places. And so they're already having some parking issues that they're dealing with already pre-Messi. And like you said, it will get messier with Messi. So there's a lot of planning right now going on, I'm sure, in the Inter Miami front office. They have a to-do list that is, as far as the eye can see, of all the things. They're going to have increased staffing, increased security, everything. It's increased media, facilities, because right now it's not adequate what they have. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot for me to write about, that's for sure.
So obviously, this has been talked about too. Hard Rock Stadium to accommodate more people. I know that the grubby hands from them are going to want some of that money. So maybe the Moss Brothers.
I don't think, I mean, as far as I know, that is not happening. As far as I know, this is really going to be a drive pink situation. Again, anything can change, money talks, whatever. But from what I know and everybody that I've talked to, there are no plans for Hard Rock.
Okay. And so no plans for Hard Rock. God, what's the other thing that I was going to tell you? Oh yeah. The sad part is he may never play in the new stadium, right?
Well, he has the contract is for 2.5 years. The contract is for 2.5 years with assuming that it gets signed, but the offer that he's getting is 2.5 years with an option for 2026. So yeah. So if the stadium is supposed to be ready March of 25, but there is no shovel in the dirt yet. And we are now in June. So, we're talking about less than 2 years away. The plan was to kick off the 2025 season at Miami Freedom Park, and that would be 1 year before the World Cup, because they would like to use that stadium for some, events and things related to the World Cup. They want to incorporate that stadium and that park into the World Cup festivities. So they really want to have it done in 2025 at some point, and his contract would run through 2025 with the option for 2026.
Okay. All right. That's
Yeah.
that's groovy. At least they'll get that 1 year in the big stadium, and then they can charge some big time money. All right, do you hear about any other names outside of Busquets and Messi that they may try to bring in?
Well, the ones it's just, I mean, Luis Suarez his name is always coming up. It's been coming up for years and years. He says that that's not happening. He's with Gremio. He's got a contract for another 2 years or whatever. And then Angel Di Maria is the other name that's come up, but he has some other offers in Europe as well. He is a free agent and he's looking for a new team. Jordi Alba is another name that, I mean, I can't imagine that they would have Jordi Alba and Busquets and Messi. I mean, it would be hard financially. I wrote a column the other day about all the things that would have to happen. Like they can't just. MLS has very, very strict rules for roster, and we saw what happened when they tried to,
Yeah, 5 DPs,
tinker with
yes.
the rules to get Blaise Matuidi. So, these guys are DP level money, and they only have 3 DPs. They definitely would have to, buy out Pizarro. Let's say that's one spot. Buy down. They have one. They can do a buy down of like Gregory, where they can, you know, it's complicated, but they can take some money, allocated money that the league gives them, and or that they earn through trades, and they use that money to go against the salary cap, and then there's extra money and space used to sign another DP. They change his designation, but he can still be making the same money like Gregory. They could do the same with Campana, but they would.
Congratulations to you that you're getting a better grasp of the craziest sports rules that exist in the United States, owned by the
I
MLS.
don't have a grasp. I'm
Oh,
just
you
faking
don't
it.
either?
I mean, no one has a grasp. GAM, they have, DPs, young DPs, discovery players,
Jesus.
generation Adidas players. I mean, it's almost like every player in that roster pretty much has a different designation. It's impossible to understand. At some point, I really think they need to streamline their entire salary and roster process because nobody understands it. It's impossible for me to even explain in a story. I would have to spend the entire story just explaining a rule to explain how a designation of a particular player. It's very cumbersome. It's one of my biggest complaints, honestly, about MLS is all of those
Oh yeah.
letters and configurations and designations, and nobody understands it. Nobody understands it.
I don't even bother anymore. I just don't, I just listen to you guys and you tell me if you figured it out, please explain it to me because I'm a complete idiot when I see their rules. And listen, when you and I started this business, sports wasn't that complicated. The business part wasn't that complicated. But as time has gone on, we've got to learn about salary caps and salaries and contracts, and that's part of the business decision that you're going to make on the player. The talent doesn't, like perfect example is the Dolphins. Right now, we got all these crazy Dolphin fans. Oh my God, he's a great back. You've got to sign Dalvin Cook right now. You got to sign him. Well, yeah, fine. Guess what? The entire league has him. Nobody's signing him. Why? Because there's a business side to it. And nobody wants to
Right.
give him the money he wants. And so these are the things that we have to learn about sports. And bro, the MLS challenges us like, forget about it. It's going to be impossible for fans to have regular conversations because we don't have all the facts and we don't know all the business side of it. And
Right. Yeah, no, you can't just say that they can't just say we're going to bring in, Messi
Right.
has 3 friends who want to come play. Okay,
Right.
let's bring them on in. I mean, that's not how it works. I mean, they have to get rid of other players to do that. There's only 3 designated spots available. We're talking about guys who make 15, 12, 14, 15, 20. He makes 60 million a year. I mean, these are crazy numbers where the highest paid player right now on the Inter Miami roster, the highest paid is Joseph Martinez at 4 million, and Inter Miami is only paying about a third of that. Atlanta is paying the other 2/3 as part of his departure deal from there. So in other words, the most, right now the most that they're paying, I believe, for a player is Pizarro at 3.5 million. That is the highest paid player on the Inter Miami roster, 3.5. Now you're talking about these guys from Barcelona and Juventus. We're talking about players who make 5 times that amount of money. And then there's Messi, who makes, way more than that. So it's not, it's financially not feasible for them to bring in all these guys are not just going to all come in and take humongous pay cuts just because they love South Florida and they want to wear pink and black. I mean, they make a certain amount of money, and it's going to be difficult for the team to accommodate all of those players. I could see one other player coming, possibly two, maybe just one. And that's the way I see it.
All right. Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. Catch her work there at the Miami Herald. Michelle, as always, excellent information. You are the best. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Thank you. There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman talking a little Inter and a little Messi. And I think, listen, we always talk Inter on this show, win or lose. It doesn't matter. I love Inter no matter what. And I want the Moss brothers to succeed big time, no matter how much of a mess it's been for them, unfortunately. But they'll figure it out, bro. They'll figure it out, and they'll get it going. And I told you, I've said it for a few years now. Those guys are crazed. They want to compete. So they're not just going to sit on the sidelines and wait around and all that. They're going to make moves. And I don't think it gets any bigger than Lionel Messi, man. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Jeff Zillgitt, by the way, is set to join us at the top of the hour, NBA beat writer for USA Today. So we'll get to talk to Jeff, and we'll get his thoughts on the Heat, what they should do this offseason, what they could do this offseason, all of those things. So we'll talk to Jeff Zillgitt at the top of the hour. Don't forget, Essential Moving Experts is a proud sponsor of our program. We love talking about Sean Williams and the exceptional people at Essential Moving Experts. And listen, I've been telling you for a while now, they've got over like 1,700 people that have already said, hey, they're giving them an A rating on their experience. If you're going to move, do it with the right people. Essential Moving Experts, Sean Williams. They go the extra mile when it comes to service to make sure you are taken care. They do an awesome job. And it doesn't matter if you're moving within a city, within a county, within the state, or across the country. Doesn't matter. They do it all for you at Essential Moving Experts, 386-213-4054. While they're stationed in Daytona, they have trucks all over the country, so they are ready to work whenever you are ready to move. Your home, your business, call the great people at Essential Moving Experts, 386-213-4054 for Essential Moving Experts. All right. Sean's a good dude. Let's see what we got. Marlins defeat the Mariners 4-1. They're off tonight, by the way. Tomorrow they start a set in Washington, the 26-40 Washington. And they've done a good job of beating down Washington every time they've played them this year. And for the guy that was asking, yes, I always watch Yuri Perez every time he pitches. That skinny dude can spin it, bro. It's a good pitcher. It's a good pitcher. He's much better than Sandy right now. Wait till you get Sandy back. Eventually, he'll find his way, man. What's that?
What kind of road trip is that for?
What are you talking about?
The Marlins. They go to
Seattle
and then
to Washington. Yeah.
Did they think that Washington was actually in Washington?
Yeah, I know. It's a long trip, but they have the day off.
Yeah, but still, you're flying cross country.
You're playing the Washington Nationals.
Oh boy.
Be grateful.
Yeah.
You can pick up a couple of easy wins. You know? Oh, can you ask Michelle if there's any talks about moving some game? Oh, yeah, I did ask that, Troy, yes. And doesn't look like it. I don't think they want to share the money. And they probably are asking for too much of a cut of the money. And remember, it's happening during football season, one of the months. Two of them, actually, because a portion of August you're playing at Hard Rock with the pro team. But in September, you're playing the Canes and the Dolphins. So it's hard to put it, and they all play on Saturdays, Canes and usually, Inter. So yeah, it's not, it probably wouldn't work. The stadium that could have worked is the FAU one. That's the one that you may be able to do it. I don't know what their suite issue is over there. How many do they have? So, let's see. Big O. I would like to go see the public Dolphin practices, but I don't know how to get a ticket or book it. Figured you would know and maybe tell me. Joel, it's super easy. Once they announce the training camp dates, they will then release free tickets. And you've got to be logged on and print one of those free tickets. And when you get one of those tickets, you get to go to that practice. So the ticket will go with one of the practices, and that way you show up, or if not, you don't get in. They're free, but you've got to be on the Dolphin website, and you've got to download it when they tell you. So if I'm you, I would be checking that all the time, okay? Because I'm not exactly sure. I believe they haven't even given us the start date of training camp. So you're safe right now. But once they announce the start of training camp and the date and all that, I'm not exactly sure when they start releasing those tickets, but you've got to be alert on that, my brother. Okay? Maybe there's something on the website that has like you can like email or text so you can get a heads up when it's going to happen or something. If I'm you, I'd comb the site, the MiamiDolphins.com site, just to find out. Okay? There you go. And good luck, Joel. I hope you get one because it's going to be fun. And listen, any of you out there that go to practice, you better come say hi to me. Okay? All right? Because we're on the stands, usually on the far right side. That's usually where the meteors sit. So if you guys do come out to training camp, please come out and say hi. Would love to meet you. Always love meeting the people that help us do this every single day. I won 6 youth national championships in judo as a young man. Judo would have been much more beneficial than jiu-jitsu. I mean, if they're teaching him how to fall, does it really matter, Todd? In jiu-jitsu? I mean, I took judo myself, but if in jiu-jitsu they're teaching you the same act of falling and breaking a fall, that's basically it. It's not like he's really learning how to fight. So, But I feel you, bro. I took judo, so I feel you. Yes,
One
sir.
of the things is I think everybody's thinking he's taking just jiu-jitsu or just when Nick was on, when you did the interview with them, they're taking a bunch of different, because again, he's not trying to fight.
Right. He's not trying to fight.
Getting, learning how to fall.
Balance, falling, all those
so I
kind
think
of things.
ultimately what they did was they probably took a little bit of everything and put it together, which is why Tua came out and said, or somebody said judo. I think
one said jiu-jitsu and one said judo.
Judo, yeah. So I think there's a combination of that because
that's
Nick said they went to one of the senseis or however they're called and got a program put together for Tua.
Right.
It wasn't like Tua went and just started training. No, they put a program together for him.
Right.
To work. So I think there's a little bit of everything involved in it.
It may have many influences. Yeah. So you never know. But yeah, it's one of those deals. Anybody that took judo, you know what I'm talking about. And you know what Tua's going through because falling is, God, it's just a part of that practice like crazy. What's the time frame typically for training camp? I'll be in Miami in July. No, it won't be July 1st to the 10th. Woo, doggy, you missed it by miles. It'll start like the 25th, 26th, 27th, something like that. If you're in the Hall of Fame game, you'll start a week earlier than that. There'll be 2 teams that'll start off, whatever, the 19th or the 17th or something like that, or the 20th. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just kind of, going off I'm spitballing here, but it'll be right around that area where I'm guessing. Okay. So in Miami, in the other 30 teams cases, they will all start training camp the 24, 25, 26, 27, some date like that. That's usually what it is. So no, unfortunately you're going to miss it, my brother, in early July. So yeah, I'll be July 11th. Not July 11th. It'll be August 11th. I'll be in Montreal for Metallica for a couple of days. I'm going to miss something for a couple of days for sure when I do leave. I'll miss a little bit. Oh, let's see what else. Okay, Heat. Let's talk a little Heat. I want to get into a little Heat because we got Jeff Zilgit coming our way at the top of the hour, and I know it sucks to be this close and not get over the hump. And, watching Spo yesterday in his press conference that we had enough and we had enough. God, I respect that dude. God, I respect Spo. He is awesome. He will never make an excuse, and he has every excuse in the book to make, and he just doesn't. And I give him credit for that because you're not going to win anyways making excuses. Let us make the excuses for you, and that makes you look better. Jimmy Butler doesn't have to whine like Jason Tatum did about, his injury and all that. Jimmy was like, no, I just didn't make shots. And we're like, yeah, sure, Jimmy. We know who you really are. That wasn't you the last couple of games. Okay, that just was not you the last couple of weeks, actually, because it was from Boston into the finals that he wasn't himself. You just got through Boston because you can get through Boston like that, but you can't get through Denver with a broken Jimmy Butler, unfortunately. So that twist that he got in the Knicks series, that thing lasted with him, and it just unfortunately got worse for him, and he wasn't able to really overcome. But the one thing that we talk about all the time is heat culture and how Udonis Haslem will get here as a nobody, and they'll get him to lose a bunch of weight and make him into a hell of a player who just retired 20 years out. They'll make Chris Bosh shoot more three-pointers. They'll make Whiteside play his best basketball. They'll make Dion Waiters play the best basketball in their lives. It'll make Isaac Austin lose a bunch of weight and get a big contract from the Orlando Magic because he had a hell of a season here. Everybody does better, including Jimmy Butler. Because if there's something that we can say about Jimmy Butler the last 4 years, is this the best 4 years you've ever seen Jimmy Butler play? Yeah. Right? Everybody would agree with that. Better than he did in Philly, better than he did in Minnesota, better than he did in Chicago. And that's the other thing that you got to love about all of this is that don't lose the sight of that. So you have a coaching staff and a franchise that for 25 years, whether it's Riley and his staff, whether it's Spo and his staff, it doesn't matter. Any player that walks into this building walks out a better basketball player. And that is proven through and through. And I think that's one of the really cool things also about all of this. It sucks to lose. I get it. It sucks not to win the title. But we all know deep down inside they didn't deserve to win the title. Denver was better. And the better team won. The fact that they got to the NBA Finals was simply amazing, dude. I love it. I love it. But mad respect to the Heat organization because even your best players play their best basketball here. Did you see Barry Jackson? Did you catch Barry Jackson at all on Twitter yesterday? He's putting together a scenario where you acquire Beal and Lillard. And it's like $90 million of tax or something, which I don't see Mickey doing. Plus, I don't think it really happens, to be quite honest. I really don't. I don't think you end up getting Lillard and Beal. That's ridiculous. And I don't even know if they would pay the luxury tax for that, but I don't think it'd be worth the luxury tax. How do you like them apples? See, I'm at a point, I don't want Kyrie Irving here. And I don't want Kristaps Porzingis here. And I don't want Zion Williamson here. And when it comes to Bradley Beal was 37th in point guards last year. Did you know that? 37th. By the way, on defense, 106th. His average over the last few years went from 30 down to 22 or 23 this year. All his numbers are going down. You know what the only number that's going up? His salary from 46.7 to 50.2 to 53.6 to 57.1, which is a player option. You think he's going to opt in for that one? Yeah. And he's 30 now, right? He's either 29 or 30, I want to say. I got to tell you something. The more I look, I told you I want Lillard over Beal. But I'm going to take it to the next level. I don't want Beal. I think Beal would be a waste of money. I don't think he's got that dog in him. You know, when I saw those stats, the dude was 37th in point guards in the league. There's only 30 teams. The guy was 106th in defending? So you're going to tell me that most teams have 3 guards that are better than him defending? Is that what you're telling me? Because if you're 106, there's a bunch of teams that have 3 guards better than you. You know what it is to pay that guy $46.7 million next year and 50 and 53.6 and then 57.1? No, man. That's a long-ass contract that you don't need. That's another thing I don't like. And you only got 3 left on Jimmy. And I don't know if Jimmy's going to hold up for the three years that are left. But at least if you bring Dame Lillard in, you're only going to sign him to 1 or 2 years. Maybe you're generous enough and you go 3 and you keep him here for the life of the Butler contract so that you kind of phase those 2 out at the same time. But I think Dane has what you need in order to get over the top. I'm not really sure that Bradley Beal is the answer. And looking at his stats, even more than ever, I think he's not the right decision. So we'll see what happens. We shall see. Rosendo says, we didn't start the fire was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. You're terrible. Why are you doing Billy Joel? Billy Joel's worst song ever. Big O trade for Ja Moron. I saw the Kendrick Perkins thing. I saw it on YouTube this morning. You know, Kendrick's had all these weird takes. Like Brian Windhorst covers the league and has some insight and says, you know, the Celtics aren't really looking to trade Jaylen Brown. They want to re-sign him and team him up with Tatum for years to come. But Perk then says, oh, but I think Bradley Beal would be great there. They should trade Bradley Beal for Jaylen Brown. Well, I don't think they're trying to do that, Perk. Well, why are you trying to rain on my parade, Perk says, or whatever. So, you know, we're in the off season and free agency hasn't started. So you know what they're doing now? They're just throwing crap out there and filling airtime. And so then Perk does that other one. John Morant needs the Heat culture to straighten him out, which is true. The Heat culture would help him out somewhat, right? There was some guy named Green that was high as a kite in some hotel lobby. We still don't know what he was high on, but he got cut from the Heat.
That's the thing. You won't find out what Moron did before.
No, we will because he'll put it on IG. He you know, Moron broadcasts broadcasts his stupidity. And by the way, I agree with Rick Kamla on Twitter. He tweeted out a couple days ago. He goes, I expect John Morant's suspension will come out on Friday after the parades and after everything is done in the NBA. And he's so right. I bet tomorrow they announce it because today they've had the parades and all that. So yeah, it should be interesting. I think he's going to get at least half a season. At least half a season. Although one guy on TV made a really good point. He goes, if you get him suspend him only for half a season, he comes back for the second half, he becomes a savior. And does he learn anything? And maybe you're better off just suspending him for the whole year. So he maybe really takes a lesson, his team takes a tumble, and then it becomes more of a humbling experience. And it's kind of true, actually, because if you suspend them for only half a year, you're basically giving him a half a year off. And then he comes back, and if he has a great half or whatever, and it's like nothing happened. So missing the entire season kind of makes sense as a punishment for his stupidity. You know? It's crazy. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Did you see the A's fans do the reverse boycott yesterday. So the A's fans did a reverse boycott, sell the team chants, all that stuff with the owner. But they packed the stadium, well, not packed, but pretty close to full, 27,000. Excuse me. 27,000. Okay? So 27,000. And do you think they were going to stop the sale? No. So what do you think the owner's doing, whether he's in the box at the game or at home watching 27,000 people at the stadium when there's normally 5,000 or 6,000? I think he's sitting there going, thank you for the money for the tickets. Thank you for the concessions that you bought. Thank you for the memorabilia you bought. I'm not exactly sure if they sell parking there. I don't remember now anymore. I used to go on the BART when I went to the A's games. I didn't drive to the BART. To the A's. I would take the BART and it would drop you off right there. And I would imagine a lot of people do that, but there has to be people that drive. I'm not sure if they charge parking there. But so many ways they were making money off those people that were complaining about it. And by the way, that same evening, last night, the legislature in Vegas approved the $380 million that they needed to finish the funding, and the bill is done. Now all it needs is the governor's signature, and that's already there. It's sad. It's sad, but I was watching that yesterday, and I was saying, folks, that's not a good boycott. You just gave the owner several $1,000s, hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Because 27,000, let's just say they all paid $10 a ticket for 27,000. Is that 2.7 million? No, or is that 270,000? Is that what it is? Yeah, no, 10 times 27. Yes, 270,000. So 270,000 you handed him. Then concessions, probably another 50. Then parking. I don't know if somebody help me out. I don't know if there's any parking over there. But you handed the guy $400,000, let's say, by the end of the night to complain. That doesn't make any sense, dude. You might be better off with the 27,000 outside the stadium. You would have gotten the coverage. The team did win, by the way, which was good.
They're on a winning streak right now. There's one guy that put down $100 and he just keeps rolling it over. And with that, I think now he's at, if he won
last night, it was 7 in a row, right? 7 in a row.
Okay, then I think he's at $852,000 now.
Really?
Yeah, he just keeps rolling the winnings over.
Wow.
He put $100 down. Did you see the fan that made the sign with the Ted Lasso reference?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I know you're a Ted Lasso guy.
Yeah, and the other thing, they had to raise money like $8,000 for all those T-shirts, sell team, and they gave away those T-shirts. I mean, you gave a lot of money to the owner. That money didn't go to the owner, but everything else in the stadium to complain.
They did get the game postponed for a moment, though.
Yeah.
Because during they did the silent for the first batter of the fifth inning.
It was so loud.
And then they erupted, and the pitcher couldn't hear his earpiece, so he had to stop the game for a moment.
When I saw that, it reminded me of Ron Jaworski. And I lost 98% of you. You got to be old enough. You got to know what I'm talking about. And you either had to be at the Orange Bowl like I was or watching it on television. But the Eagles and Ron Jaworski came to town, and we were so loud in that stadium that he couldn't snap the ball, and he had to burn a few timeouts. And every time he had to call a timeout, and he would turn to the referee, and the referee would say, hey, man, you got to snap the ball. And we were just so loud because that stadium was roaring. So those of you that are old enough or witnessed it, you know what I'm talking about. That was a pretty cool moment. And that when I saw that yesterday, that the A's erupted, that I go, man, that reminded me of being in the Orange Bowl that day as a kid. That was awesome.
Imagine the catcher talking to the umpire, timeout. This doesn't happen. Give us a minute. Like,
yeah. King Short, expensive boycott. Yes, it is, man. Maybe I'll do that type of bet with the Marlins, see how far I can roll my money. Yeah, I don't think it's going to roll very far. Although they've been on a roll now, if they're Yeah, you had to catch them on the stretch knowing that there's a bunch of crappy teams. And they've done a marvelous job of beating down those crappy teams. Jaylen Brown, Kyrie, and CP3 come to Miami. Big O won't last long mentally. No, I won't. No, I won't. I mean, I don't have anything against Jaylen Brown, but Kyrie and CP3 are, God, I wouldn't want anything to do with that. So, what can I tell you? So what's going on with the Bills and Diggs finally? He showed up and then
they canceled the last day of camp, which was today.
And just so they don't have to deal with more of the questions. That's all. I mean, McDermott, when you listen to the head coach talk about the player situation, we had a good conversation, great communication. We got to the point yesterday where we just felt like we all needed a break and some space. For what? It's the off season. It's June. Where's the pressure? Where's the space? You've been cruising all off season. There's nothing to do. What'd you show up at a couple mini camps? He probably didn't even go to those mini camps. What space? Like, seriously, he had to talk a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo crap to get through this. So I gave Steph permission to get some space and head out and pick up those conversations after practice. So what's this nutbag need space for? He's making $24 million. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. They throw him the ball a lot. They win in Buffalo. They go to the playoffs. What are you complaining about, dude? Just shut up and play football. Let everything else take care of itself. So it was not Steph leaving unexcused. He was excused by me. And so those conversations have got us to what I think and believe is a great spot. Sometimes you have to have conversations and need to communicate. I appreciate Steph being willing to communicate. I thought he did a great job, and you guys need to understand Steph is a valuable member of this football team. Can I translate to you this? Guys, I'm trying to be really nice to Stephon Diggs because if I say anything negative, the little petulant child has a pea brain and gets insulted, and then all of a sudden he starts pouting like he doesn't get the ball enough, pouting because this, pouting because of that, because that's what Stephon Diggs is. So please write it that we love him and that he's important to us because he's mentally weak and unstable all the time. And we've got to handle him like a 5-year-old child. Okay? There's a translation for you. He's one of our captains and a leader on this football team. You have low standards. He works extremely, extremely hard, and as hard as any player that I've been around. Boy, he is milking this. It's like he's standing under a cow right now. My man, he's just like laying on the chocolate. Here's sprinkles. Here's some whipped cream. Here, let's have a couple of cherries on top. He works extremely, extremely hard as any player I've been around to be a lead in this league, and that's what he is, and I love him. More reinforcements. I mean, it's one steel wall after another steel wall after another steel wall of reinforcements. I mean, seriously. This is better than Star Trek or Star Wars or anyone else that has some kind of a tractor beam. Yeah, no, you can't get through this one. And I love him. So I want you to make sure that you guys understand what the situation was and is. Because there's some things that have been said that I don't think were fair. So I wanted to provide clarity to this situation. I'm sorry, wasn't it your player that said there were lies? Not anybody else? Meanwhile, when asked about his absence before all of this, he said he was very concerned. He changed his tune right away. He's no, we love him. No, we had to air things out. I'm so glad he came to communicate with us. You assholes, That's his communication. Ripping into I'm so glad he came to communicate with us. Now, I want you guys to write all this down because I want him to read it, that we love him. Boy, that is an unstable situation, brother. Okay? Ricky Perez, thank you for the love in the super chat. I was there in the West End Zone. Those were the days, my friend. There you go. He remembers. He remembers. That was fun. It was fun. I can still see the Polish rifle. You know? I can still see him frustrated as hell. It was an awesome night, man. I will never forget that. Being there and screaming and just watching the frustrations of Jaworski. Awesome. What happened to the days when players feared and respected their coaches? Seems like coaches nowadays have to kiss players' asses. It's one of I guess the money and all that. And by the way, they owe him so much money that it becomes a really difficult situation. They can't even cut him. They can't trade him. Nothing like that. Nothing. Not that they want to, because obviously if they want to compete, they need him. But he's obviously a load to deal with. Oh, by when can they start trading for players? Because from what I heard, it's the NBA. I think it's like July 1st or something. One of the first couple of days of July, my brother, I think is when free agency starts. Can you look it up for me, Sean? When free agency starts? I want to say it's July 1st itself. I want to say it's July 1, but if it's not 1, it's like one of those days right after it. Sean will tell you right now. Let's see. They're all very upset with Dorsey's offense. Well, Nelson, they took a step back with Dorsey. Hey, by the way, June 30th? So the day before July 1st, June 30th. Oh, July 1st, we get to go. June 30th, they report, take their physicals, because we never have access to first day, ever. The first day they report and do do all the physicals and the weigh-ins and all that stuff. Yeah, the June 30th. And July 1st, we then starts camp probably. That's my guess. I'm sorry, free agency. That's what it is. Not camp. I'm sorry, free agency. I got it all mixed up. I'm talking training camp and it's free agency. My mind is burnt. Yes. No, it's free agency, July 1st. Okay. So June 30th. June 30th for free agency. There you go. Way to get that confusing. What else do we have here? Oh, yes. Besides the dig stuff, did you see the report that there's an unnamed player that lost $8 million in gambling? Bro, they suspended 4 Lions and 1 Colt player for gambling. These guys, and they're probably young and dumb, and that's the problem. And they don't understand that they can't gamble in the facility. That's nuts, dude. Like, it's pretty simple, bro. Don't gamble in the facility. Leave the facility. Go have lunch, and then place your bet. You know? Okay, how about now? We good now? Are we good now? Tell me. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Are we good? Okay, looks like it's coming through there on the iPad now. Okay, looks like yay. Okay, good. Yeah, we had a power surge. And that we do it with the lemon twist out here when we have with Surge. We do it with a lemon twist. So there is an NFL player unnamed that has lost $8 million in gambling. So the 5 that have been suspended, all these idiots have gambled on property, not in the NFL, but on property. Okay. Now, if somebody is gambling on the NFL, well, then you're really screwed overall. But $8 million, bro, that's a serious problem. $8 million. You are a bad gambler, bro. An absolutely bad gambler. What's that? Yeah. Should probably be listening more to us here on the show. We would have given you a lot of winners here down the stretch in basketball specifically. I'm AEW. No, I lost again yesterday. So the champ won? Yeah, I tell you. They don't know how to write storylines in that place. They got to know. They got to learn how to write stories in that place. Come on, what's wrong with them? But yeah, $8 million. I would lose my mind.
It's got to be one of the bigger players that don't.
Yeah, no, he's got to have money.
No, yeah. I mean, it can't be one of the ones.
That can't be a young guy.
Yeah,
that's probably an older guy.
It's got to be, right? Because $8 million. At least somebody on your friend's side circle or something should be like, "Hey, look, buddy, maybe."
Or maybe they don't know.
Take a little break here.
No, but whenever they find out, they're going to remember that he was probably grumpy all last year. And, oh, dude, now I know why you were constantly pissed off.
You know they're showing up with the check soda. You know when they start showing up with the check soda, they gamble the money on.
The check soda. I love that. By the way, does Francis Suarez think he has a chance to win the presidential election?
At this point, it's like, okay, you're voting for Biden? You're voting for Trump? Let's go.
Right,
Just throw everybody's name in there. See what somebody's got to win, right?
I saw it yesterday. It's like, yo, dude, you probably have no shot at winning, but knock yourselves out, bro. Yeah, knock yourselves out. If that's what you want to do, go for it, bro. Do it. All right, let's take a quick break here. Let's get ready for Jeff Zogit. He's going to join us. Let's see. And on the other side, back with more right here from Hialeah Park.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, time to talk a little basketball with my man Jeff Zilgett, who does an excellent job covering the NBA for USA Today. There he is. How you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm hanging in there. Long NBA season, and it's not quite over.
Yeah. By the way, is this the first time you're on this? Because I've had you on Sirius or when I was doing local radio. Have I brought you on the platform yet? Is this
No, this is it right now.
First time? Nice. I love it, Jeff. Good to have you on, my brother.
Yeah.
And good to hear you. You were covering there the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
First of all, as I've told fans down here, Panthers or Heat, none of us could ever complain because none of us had them in the finals. And we have to be, really blessed and thankful for it that is crazy that they got this far. But how shocked were you and how impressed are you with the run of Butler and Spo in these 4 years? Because it's been 3 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 NBA final appearances. I'm not sure there's a duo that's done more with less than Spo and Jimmy.
Yeah, you're putting it really well, Big O, on that front. So ultimately, if you were to ask me what team as a number 8 seed would get to the NBA Finals, I would probably scroll toward the Miami Heat. So to that end, not surprised. But it's surprising anytime an 8 gets to the NBA Finals. So let's just put that out there. But then when you talk about how impressed I am, look, I've been trying to tell people, and maybe I wrote it this way, is that at the beginning of the year when I'm asked to fill out, who I think is going to win what awards, I automatically put Eric Spoelstra's name at the top of my list. Look, can we argue, is he a better coach than Popovich? I don't know the X's and O's that well to determine that. But when I talk to people around the league, they call him a top tier coach. And that means like 1, 2, 3 best in the league. Yeah. And you can maybe rotate a couple guys in and out just depending on the year they had. But Eric Spoelstra, just year in, year out. And what he's able to do, he's done it different ways. He's gotten teams to the playoffs that have stars. He's gotten teams to the playoffs that way. He has some pretty good teams, but maybe they shouldn't have done this well. And then what you see this year with this team and getting them to the NBA Finals.
There's only one star on this team, for real. I mean, one true star in Jimmy Butler. And to get this far, I mean, it is crazy, Jeff.
He gets the most out of the least. And that's no offense to anyone on that team. I know Bam Adebayo, Eric Spoelstra makes a push for him for best defensive player in the league. But to extract what he gets, and I know they get a little tired of this conversation by the end of the year when us national guys pop in and we want to ask about Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. And, they had Duncan Robinson and replaced them essentially with Max Strus. And so I know they get tired of that. But just from a perspective of appreciating how they're able to find people who fit their system, not every team across the board can do that. And so I always go back.
By the way, Jeff, who just retired 20
Yes.
years ago, they found Udonis Haslem and said, young man, you need to lose about 70 pounds and we're going to make you a basketball player. And 20 years later, it's 3 championships. He'll have his jersey retired. He might have a statue outside because of what he's meant to his team.
Think about that career right there, 20 years. They find these guys. And again, I've also said that this is a little indicative of Pat Riley.
You got a little muted there. You got a little muted. You got a little muted there. Muted. We're not hearing you. Not hearing you. There we go. You got muted a little there. I don't know. You weren't going.
Are we back?
There you go. Now you're back. Okay. So you were saying? Oh, no, you went out again. You went well. You went well again.
All right, are we back?
There you go.
I'm going to keep my hands off the screen here as much as possible.
Okay.
And so Pat Riley, think about his days with the Los Angeles Lakers. And he had his stars, Magic, Kareem, let's throw Worthy in there. But he also had his workhorses. And whether it's a Kurt Rambis type,
Cooper, Michael Thompson,
you got
all those guys, yeah.
Think about his Knicks days. It's very similar. And so he's got a very definitive look at how he wants a team to be. And he's passed that along, and it's just been very successful. And again, beyond Eric and his X's and O's and strategy and getting guys to believe is they find, and this is the front office's role, is they find those right guys. Now, let me say, we're probably get to a point in the conversation where we're going to look ahead. And so there comes a certain point in the road where that's all well and good. And then you take a look at this team, whether it was the finals in 2020 or the finals this year, there's probably a little something more that's needed to get them to win that title.
Yep, I'm with you there. You know how crazy this is, Jeff? How many teams can say that your Hall of Fame coach retires, and then I know that you had a little Jeff Van Gundy in the middle for a short time, but Riley then continued, but then Spo took over, that you would have a better coach, because believe it or not, Riley's the best in his overall career.
Yeah.
But when we start looking at Riley's Heat run and Spo's Heat run, Spo has passed Riley as the best coach in Heat history. Who the hell would have said that 15 years ago, Jeff? Think about that. That is like crazy. This guy won more titles than Riley, been to more championships than Riley, and has actually built a better Miami Heat resume than Riley. How crazy is that?
Well, when you think about it this way, he's probably the perfect guy. And maybe there could have been a couple others, but he doesn't let Riley's shadow, which is very overwhelming, whether it's Los Angeles, New York, or Miami, he doesn't let it overwhelm him. He's got enough of an ego that he can go out and coach these guys, but the ego's not so big that he can't understand what Pat Riley's role and influence is over a few franchises. And so he finds his way. He deflects credit. Spoelstra doesn't want it to be about him. He wants it to be about the players on the court. He deflects all the attention, and that allows him to do a lot of what he can do.
All right, Jeff, obviously great accomplishment this year, no matter what. But one of the things that I've been a little frustrated with the front office, and I said this is not hindsight. I said this the day they traded for Butler. I said the only way this thing going to pan out for you is if you go get that other star for him. And they haven't been able to find that other star. And unfortunately, the Kyle Lowry move, and I know it's a strong friendship for Butler and all of that, with him being the godfather of his daughter and all of that. But it's a $30 million salary that it did not produce a star that Jimmy needed. So who's that star? Because that window is closing for Jimmy. Jeff, we're watching his body break down. He can't play a whole season anymore. That's part of the reason why you were an 8 seed, by the way, because he can only play 80% of the season. And that 20% that he's missing, you're going to lose some games. So during those stretches, you need to have that other star on the court that can, Jeff, you and I have been watching basketball for a long time. I tell people all the time, I love Bam, but I don't look at him as a star, because in today's league, you have to impose your offensive will in order to be a star. In the 90s, I would have looked at him as a star because he would have been just like Ben Wallace and Rodman and some of those other guys that aren't, even though he's much better than they are offensively, but he can't impose his will offensively, or he refuses to, whatever it is. But Jimmy needs that other dog next to him. Time is running out. Who's the dog that can be had this year in the offseason for the Miami Heat?
I think that person's going to come from someone on the perimeter. You're going to need a shooter and a scorer. And I think the news that broke by ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski about Bradley Beal's camp going to have discussions about whether or not Bradley Beal wants to be part of whatever the Wizards decide to do next. Now, think about this. Brad Beal is very happy and comfortable. He likes living in the Washington, D.C. area. And he's never made it about winning a championship. However, if it's going to go in a different direction for Washington, and I say this under the guise of, I thought a few years back, and this probably isn't a secret to anyone here, but the Heat had their eye on Donovan Mitchell and very interested in what he could provide, or right around circa 2020, 2021, certainly before he got moved to Cleveland. And short of that, well, let's think of another guy who could probably handle the ball a little bit. Think about Brad Beal. He played the 2 guard with John Wall, but either one of them could bring the ball up. So that would take some responsibility off of Jimmy. He's a really good shooter and scorer. And I think on a team with Miami, he would even get better opportunities than he's had. That's one. I think if you're going to try to look, and he's traditionally a 2 guard, if you're going to look at the point guard spot, I don't think there's a lot they can do financially with a Fred VanVleet type,
right?
Or even D'Angelo Russell or Kyrie.
Trade.
It's going to have to be trades. But those are the other 3 names I think you're going to hear mentioned. Now,
will Lillard become available? Because, Jeff, that's the guy I think they need. That's the pardon my words, but that's the sumbitch they need on the court next to Jimmy. That's the guy that's a dog and can score. I mean, he had a 50, a 60, and a 71-point game this season. This is a guy that can score. I love this guy.
So I think what's really going to be interesting about Damian is what Portland does here in the draft, whether they make a big trade or whether that potentially happens in free agency. Because the bottom line is that, like Brad Beal, is Damian does like Portland. He wants to win there. I mean, that's been clear from his camp by and large. For the last 5-6 seasons. They've had trouble doing that. Maybe they got to a conference finals one year, and then they maybe hit a little bit reset button. And so I think he really wants to see what emerges through the draft and free agency. And then we'll get maybe a little if he likes what happened, then I don't think we're going to hear much from Damian Lillard. If he's not pleased, then I think we might start to hear a little bit more about Damian Lillard and where he would like to go. And so I think that's another avenue right there as well, because he can do both the things I just mentioned. He can be a point guard. He can be a 2 guard, play off the ball, get his shots, and score tons of buckets. That you make a great point about Jimmy. People talk about playoff Jimmy, and I know he's capable of those 30-point games. And when he needs a triple-double, he can go out and get one. But that's not who he is on an every night basis or every game basis. He's the guy who gives you sort of, maybe in the regular season, 26-5 or 27-6, something like that. And that's perfect in the way Jimmy plays. It works. But to your point about getting another score, that really became evident in this series against Denver, that someone else needed to put the ball in the bucket.
Yeah, they needed somebody. All right, so you said, we'll wrap it up with this. You said you start the season by predicting, you got to put in a name, who's going to win this, who's going to win that. You got Spo in there for Coach of the Year. So Jeff Zilgett, who covers the NBA for USA Today, you are now filling in. Who is the big name that is going to get traded to the Miami Heat? Who is it?
I'm still looking for Bradley Beal. I love your Lillard suggestion. But I think when it gets down to it, the Wizards might have if it doesn't happen at the trade or at the draft, something in the off season, the Wizards might be able to put together the kind of or the Heat put together the kind of package that the Wizards like, and they can get that deal done.
Yeah, the second hottest part of the NBA season, right? It's playoffs, it's the off season, and the regular season's like number 3. There's nothing like NBA off seasons, dude.
There is nothing like it, and it keeps us busy through the first, second week of July.
Yeah, it's 12 months, man. Just like football, they have done the marvelous and genius thing of keeping their name in sports for 12 months a year. Jeff, appreciate you as always, my brother. Folks, follow him on Twitter at Jeff Zilgett. Catch his work there at USA Today. Jeff, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely.
Yep, thanks, Big O.
Hey, by the way, what's the dog's name? Because I got 4 at home.
Yeah, we got Greta, who is up on the couch, and we got Mikey sleeping up on the couch.
Is that for Greta Van Fleet?
It is not. She was a rescue dog, and my in-laws got her and ended up at our house. But Greta was the name they went with.
Yeah, we got 4 adoptees. One of them is called Bono for U2, and another one's called Maiden for Iron Maiden, 2 of my favorite bands. So there you go. Yeah, all adoptees too.
We love them, and we love the rescue pets too.
No doubt, bro. We got to rescue them, man. I'm with you there. Jeff, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Take care.
You got it. There you go. Jeff Zilgett from USA Today. Give us 30 seconds, and we're back right here on the Big O Radio Show live. See, from Hialeah Park.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
To a time, I saw that report, excuse me, of the Trailblazers saying, because Windhorst, I think, reported it, that the Trailblazers at the moment have no plans on trading Dame Lillard, but that will change. If Dame wants to go, then they'll accommodate it. They kind of tell us already what they're doing. Go look at the roster. They've been in a youth movement now, and so they're not ready to win at all. So it's not like you're better off trading him now and get what you can for him because you can get a boatload for him. So you might as well do it. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope that's the guy they get. I'm not really a Bradley Beal guy. So Steve Calabro is in the house. We are in a Hialeah Park, and the General Mangler is with us here. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. Big O, I want to talk about, I want to go right into it.
Dolphins?
We're going to talk about Dolphins. I want to talk about our slots. I want to talk about our poker. But
we're not talking Gesicki, right? You're not talking Gesicki.
Well, we might bring up tight ends, but not necessarily. We don't have to bring up Gesicki. I didn't bring him up.
Okay.
I didn't bring him up.
He's with the broken Patriots.
Well, that's a problem, but
nah.
I did some research.
I'm not worried about the Patriots.
I did some research. Now you've got me like, I'm like all over the map here a little, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at Mike McDaniel, and he was with
San Fran
from 2017 to 21. 21, he was the offensive coordinator.
Yes,
Prior
sir.
to that, he was the run guy.
Right.
Okay. So he saw that offense, and he's got the San Francisco Mike McDaniel offense.
Yeah.
That's what he's bringing. Do you know that they had a position there, tight end, I guess they called it, right? A little guy by the name of Georgie boy, George Kittle.
Oh, yes. Oh, you mean at San Fran? Yes.
Not a bad tight end, right?
Half decent.
Yeah, half decent.
He might make it in the league.
Yeah, half decent, right?
He might make it.
Yeah, he's pretty good, right? So, when this is what I don't understand about McDaniel. And I look, it's all going to be in the results, right? At this point, no matter what, it's just like in business. Guys come in my office, they say, "Oh, this is the greatest slot machine in the world." I said, if it works, if it performs well, then it's good.
3 months later, you'll have another better one.
You know what I tell them? Oh, they go on for a half hour. They go on for how great this slot machine is. This is the greatest slot machine. It's very hard to make a great slot machine, right? And I go, you really believe in this, right? Why don't you give it to me for free for 3 months? And if it works out, I'll buy it.
Right.
And then they kind of stutter. Some actually do it, and believe me, half of them work out, half don't.
Right.
And they're not superstars; they're just okay.
Right.
Okay. So back to football though. So McDaniel was the offensive coordinator. Kittle had 71 catches.
Right.
The tight end position.
Right. He's a beast.
Was a critical piece of in Kittle's career. He's a 70, 80.
He's a monster.
Catches a year.
He's a monster.
But why didn't what has changed from McDaniel going from San Francisco to here, where he thinks the tight end is like number 12 on the 11-man roster?
Because he doesn't have Kittle. So he tried to trade for Darren Waller last year. That came out.
Yeah.
And that's a dynamic tight end. He's not Kittle and who's the other guy? Kittle and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Those are the top dogs.
That's 1 and 2. That's 1 and 2.
So he's under those guys, but he's a fabulous pass guy. He's not half the blocker that Kittle is. Kittle will take a defensive lineman to the ground, but Waller is dynamic, and they tried to trade for him and they couldn't, and they ended up trading him to the Giants actually. So he was looking for his dynamic tight end. He couldn't find one in the draft. I kind of know who they wanted in the draft. It just didn't
happen.
It didn't fall to them in the second round. They would have taken the guy in the second round, but he wasn't available.
Not the Notre Dame guy, right?
No, it's not the Notre Dame guy. I can tell you that it's not the Notre Dame guy, but I know exactly.
Thank God it's not the Notre Dame guy.
I know exactly who they wanted in the second round, and unfortunately, they could not get him. By the way, they've been bragging at the certain mini camp that he's at. All they do is brag about him, so it might have been the right pick for him if he would have gotten there. But anyway, so they're in search of that. So now what they're doing is they have 3 guys on one side, which is Smythe, Tyler Kroft, and Saubert.
Yeah.
All 3 guys are blocking tight ends that can pass catch. But
they're very little.
Okay, but they can
very little.
But they can pass catch. They're not like complete goofballs.
They're less than 50% in terms of their receiving ability in the league.
Okay, yeah, fine. But I saw Tyler Kroft actually make a really nice catch in the end zone last week. And by the way, Smythe has turned himself into a solid pass catcher.
He's solid.
Yeah, and Saubert is big, dude. So he can block. So I'm fine with that. But then what they did was they drafted the Higgins kid in the 6th round.
To make him
the Stanford kid.
Elijah, yeah. That's
so Elijah Higgins, they have 2 offline tight ends that are kind of like receivers.
The kid that was rookie
last
year. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So not Cameron, is it Tanner Connor?
Tanner Connor.
Tanner Connor is now competing with Higgins for 1 spot. I'm predicting. Okay, and so now that's going to be their playmaking tight end that he's going to create mismatches with. Because this tight end will be more of a blocker, but he can go out for a pass. So he's not like a total blocker that you're like, okay, they won't send him out for a pass. You still have to worry about all 3 because all 3 have caught touchdowns. All 3 have had catches in this league. They all are serviceable. But because he can't find one, he has broken it into 2 different positions. Now, the one on this side, which is I'm talking about Tanner Connor and
a slot receiver
and Higgins. Yeah, but I've explained this here on this platform. Some of you may be new to this. I've explained that this is kind of an experiment, is what it is, because it's not a guarantee both guys will make this team this year. Okay, so it's an experiment to see, since he can get his 1 playmaking tight end that's also a blocker, he's going to break it up into 2, and then you'll see. And so it'll hurt somewhere. Somewhere you won't keep an extra back, an extra defensive back, an extra lineman, an extra tight end.
You have to make room for the guy.
You have to make room for the guy. So maybe if you do keep 4 tight ends, you only keep the 3 blockers and the 1 pass catcher.
So all I'm saying is, I believe, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not defending Mike Gesicki or something, but it's a shame that they didn't get Waller, because I think Waller would have been a nice.
Yeah, would
that
have been really good.
Then I wouldn't be
system,
even talking about it right now. Then you have what you need.
You wouldn't have Higgins and
all that stuff.
That experiment would not be going on.
I just think it's a huge void. It's a huge worry for me as a fan. I'm just a fan. I have another opinion.
No, you shouldn't.
I worry about tight end
you shouldn't.
for the Dolphins.
No, you should not worry. Let me explain why.
Although Smythe is above average.
No, he does a good job, dude. I'm really impressed with Durham Smythe and how he has developed in his career. He's solid. But here's where I don't want you to worry. All three of the guys on that side block. So you're adding a blocker to your line to protect Tua. And if anything, brother, you have playmakers galore.
No, let me tell you, the wide receivers are spectacular.
And not only that, the A-Chain kid, he looks the part. Oh my God, he looks the part.
Speed,
like his body. That's one of the things I loved about watching Cam Smith and him. And as I've said before, it reminds me of Kader Kohu. That Kader Kohu came out of Division II, but then you were watching him in camp, and you're like, "Who the hell is this guy? He'll hit you. He'll try." And then you walk into the locker room and you look at him and you go, "Holy crap, this guy's already built for the NFL." A lot of these guys normally have to beef up in the NFL, have to gain
take a
some
year
weight.
or two.
Yeah, these guys don't. A-Chain and Cam Smith are built already body-wise, so I really like that. But A-Chain, when you're going to have Mostert and A-Chain coming out of the backfield with Hill and Waddle, my brother, there ain't nobody stopping that.
So let me say, so I still look. I hear you.
And Braxton Berrios is going to be a fantastic slot.
I hear you. I
love
respect
him as
what
a
you're
slot.
saying. I just still think that's a shortcoming of their team. That's just what I think. I mean,
you
look,
can't fix everything, bro. Away.
No team's perfect.
Right.
Although that's how you. Well, I shouldn't say that. 1972 Dolphins were perfect,
Yes.
right? So
I mean, next year they'll get all their picks back. So maybe next year they're able to find that tight end. Hey, listen, left guard and right tackle still kind of
a big issue.
Still kind of an experiment going on there too.
So I have another question, which apparently you'll say after just
it's only
listening
year
to
two,
you,
man, for them. So.
You're going to say don't need it. I think your answer is going to be don't need neither of them. So if you were to add to the run game,
yes,
and you had a relatively inexpensive cost for either Dalvin Cook as your first,
right?
He wants $10 million.
They
say he's worth $5 million. Let's say you can get him for $6 or $7.
Right?
Would you add Dalvin Cook? And I'm going to add a second person too. Would you add Leonard Fournette? Because both of them are available.
No, I would never add Leonard Fournette.
Okay,
Dalvin Cook, I'll add if it's as long. Look, as I've said for months, he was never going to get traded for. Miami was never traded.
No,
we
were
him.
Waiting for this.
And Miami was never going to pay big money. And sure enough, none of that happened. They've released him. They'll sign him, but they'll sign him on their terms. He already knows. They already made their offer.
Oh,
they already made. Dalvin knows exactly what Miami wants to pay them.
He's a Miami kid, right? He's a Miami guy,
Yeah,
right?
he's a Miami kid. So now he's going to go see what else is out there.
If there's a better deal.
And see, no, not just better. He wants carries because he's not going to get 20 carries here.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's got to share time. So think about this. So are you going to pay for a blackjack dealer that can only work 20 hours a week, but you're going to pay him for 40 hours?
Yeah, not good.
Not good, right?
Not good at all.
That doesn't make any sense. So that's where I run into brick walls with fans because, oh no, you got to pay him. Dude, he's not coming here to be a one. He's not coming here to be a 20 carry guy.
But you could make a bold move. You could make him. You could dump one of the.
But why would you do that?
I'm not saying it's a good move. That's a bold move. That's a risky move, especially with Dalvin because he gets hurt a little.
Right, and the other two
not
guys,
a lot, but a little.
No, he's missed 24 games in his career.
Yeah, but the last 4, he's missing about 3-4 games a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well,
look, if Tua could only miss 3 games a year, we'd be in better shape.
And that's why you need 3 other backs.
Right. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And by the way, Mostert isn't Mr. Healthy. Jeff Wilson isn't Mr. Healthy. So if you add Dalvin Cook, they all have injury history. So it's not like any of them are really going to be able to carry the entire load. So everybody's going to be part-time so you can keep them fresh. Because Cook, that's part of it too.
Cook why
do you want to give somebody 250 carries, 300 carries and wear them down by the end of the season?
Cook's going to want that. Cook's going to want 20 a game.
So then if he wants that, he's got to go somewhere else. He's not
but he may not have it.
Then you're going to
there's another component.
So now he knows what he's got to get here. So he's going to have to settle for that here and on a 1-year deal, and then go back out on the market.
And he might come here because he thinks he can win.
Right.
You know, that's one thing that we have in Miami right now is I have to give 2 things. I think we
no
can,
tax state.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to pay tax. So if you're making $7 million and you don't have to give, if you're living in New Jersey, you got to give that jerk of a governor $700,000 of that, right?
Yeah.
So,
dude, did you see what the Texas governor is trying to do?
No.
Eliminate property taxes.
No, get out of here.
Yes.
How are you going to pay for stuff?
Watch it. Look it up. My man wants to eliminate property. Hey, DeSantis, you want to do that too, bro? Come on. Let's go.
No, look, I'll go halfway. Just reduce them. Reduce them.
Just go half. Go 50%.
Cut them in half. Yes. Cut them in half. I love you.
Abbott wants to eliminate property and like the I think it's the Attorney General or whatever.
Wait, it's for everybody or just
homeowners?
Listen, I got an idea.
It's freaking amazing. It's crazy, but it's amazing.
Put this onto DeSantis.
Oh, but by the way, it's raising like the state tax. Like when you go buy, it'll be like
sales tax.
It'll be like 17%.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So
we like to consume.
That's the trade-off that they're going to raise.
So
state
what
tax.
I'm going to say is, just lower the.
You know why they do that, right? Because that way you're taxing everybody, legal or illegal.
Oh, because they're consuming, they're buying. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
They're not stupid, bro.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. You know, the census says we had 330 million people in this country. We probably have 360 or 370 million people in this country because there's millions that are in the country illegally. So that's why they bring up. That's why you're hearing on the Republican side a lot of the general tax. Because you've heard that, it's mostly on the Republican side.
It's on consumption
because they know that there's a crap ton of illegal people here and they're not paying taxes. So if you're getting your money under the table every week, now you got to go pay your gas. Now you got to go pay your food. Now you're paying us back.
Listen,
that's kind of the way. That's the way they look at it.
I know a lot of your viewers are young, so I'm gonna.
No, they're not.
I'm gonna make them
all over the place.
Okay, well, then you'll like it. So
I was just bragging about how yesterday the Oakland A's, the fans went so crazy and loud that at the moment the pitcher couldn't pitch or anything like that. And I said it reminded me of the day I was at the Orange Bowl with Ron Jaworski and the Eagles.
I love them.
So
the
loud.
I love Jaws.
Bro, the Polish rifle.
I love them.
And we were so loud that we forced him into a couple timeouts and all that. And every time he had to call a timeout, we went even louder and all that. And then
you were young. You were young.
And one guy goes, I was there, I remember. So see, you got old farts like me.
Okay, well, I'm going to say, if you're going to do that tax thing that Texas is doing, in Florida, just give a reduction, 50% to people over 65, because next month I'm turning 65.
Oh, you bastard. I still have a few more years to 65.
So that's my request.
Can we do it at 57?
We'll go 59 and a half. Make it like the IRA.
Wait a minute. Where are you now in age?
Oh, you're going to have to pay for
bro.
10 years. You're going to have to pay for 10, 20 years. All the young people have to pay, That's my new thing now. But listen,
that's the experiment, and we're going to see. That's what he's trying to do since he doesn't have the one. So we'll see. And then on the Dalvin side, it's just up to Dalvin now.
Yeah.
It's really up to him. If the problem is, as I've explained this many times, Saquon Barkley can't get his money. He's holding out.
No running back can.
Aaron Jones has been better than Dalvin Cook the last 4 years.
Yep.
And they forced him to take a pay cut from 17 to 11 million, or we'll cut you. And his agent.
And who's going to give him more than 11 million?
Nobody.
So
just like Cook ain't going to get 10. That's why I think Cook is a little delusional about what he thinks he wants. Aaron Eckler could not find a trade.
Oh, it took him months.
And all they did was guarantee him a couple extra million, and next year he's a free agent. But he never got his deal. He couldn't find a trade partner. Who's the other one that had issues with money?
Zeke?
No. Tennessee has the best running back in the NFL, Derrick Henry. He's in the final year of his contract. He's 29 or 30. He wants a new contract. They don't want to give it to him because they're rebuilding.
And he's 29.
And he's on the table for a trade. Anybody that needs a running back, and you think you're a running back away from the Super Bowl, brother, you go trade for
Derrick.
Right. But you also have to trade for him and give him a new deal.
You got to pay him a lot of money too.
So are you willing to do that?
What's he making his last year?
I'd have to look it up for me there.
That's probably.
That's
going to be where his head's going to be at.
I'm going to guess he's somewhere in the 14 to 15 million.
Right.
range.
So he's going to say, "I need a deal that's in that
Comparable.
range for 3 years or 4 more years than he needs.
So
And everybody's going to want to give him a 1 or 2 year deal.
So my point is, nobody wants these guys.
Yeah, but
nobody trades for these guys. Nobody signs these guys.
That's why I say for $6 million, I think Dalvin Cook is a good addition.
Okay,
I think it's a great addition.
He think it's a good addition.
Yeah, but he may not. He may not think it's a good addition.
That's why
he may come here because he thinks, "Hey, I can win."
Oh no, he's coming here.
He's
coming here. Watch.
You think?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, he's coming here.
Then I'm excited.
And he'll sign for like 4.5 with incentives, and he'll end up with 6, maybe 7 with team incentives. He better be smart. Don't go for individual incentives, Dalvin. If you're watching, that's not a smart move because you're not going to make it.
They got too many running backs.
I think he's not going to find anything out there. I think he's going to learn the hard way about what's going on with running backs. Nobody really is dying. Bro, he's been available. Nobody has made offers.
Yeah, this has been
He's
weeks.
not visiting anybody.
Yeah.
It's only Miami that he had a conversation with, and maybe his agent is dialed around. He's visited no one. He's going to face serious reality, and then he's going to say, bro, why am I going to sign for 7 here when I can sign for 4.5, make 6.5 with insane
Look, tax-free and a chance to win.
And a chance to win.
I think it's big. It's great.
And it keeps his body fresh for next year because he's not going to carry the workload.
But that becomes a little bit weird for him. He's going to be
as long as
he's going to want 20, 50 carries.
He might get 15 at times. I think a lot last year. Because I think he did respect for what he did last year.
And he's a speedster.
He ran hard at times. That's all I looked at him as. That's where I was wrong.
No, but
I saw him at times break tackles and be physical, and I was like, whoa, dude, I never saw that from Raheem Mostert when I would watch him. I was very impressed with Raheem Mostert, and I love Jeff Wilson, and the A-Chain kid just has it. It looks like it, What is it? What is he making? Base but what's his cap? Right, 16.3.
So he's got a bunch of.
That's what I thought because of the signing bonus.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah. But the guarantees.
Oh man.
Yeah. His cap is 16.
He's
but
gonna be.
He's gonna want somewhere in that 14, 15 range.
He's gonna want. Yeah.
And
he's gonna want 3 years at 12. That's what he's gonna want.
And very few people are gonna remember. Saban ran him into the ground
at LSU,
at Alabama. At Alabama, he won the Heisman and everything.
I'm thinking. Fournette.
Yeah. No, he ran his ass like crazy. I mean, he ran for thousands of yards in college, and then he's come to the NFL and he's been a workhorse. So there's a lot of mileage on that big body.
Yeah. So that's why you can't give him a 3-4 year deal because he's not going to last.
And that's what I try to explain to fans and even some writers like Omar that don't get the business side of this. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how much you like Dalvin Cook and all that crap, bro. It matters to what goes on in the league and how they look at it. And they don't look at Dalvin Cook like he's going to get us to the Super Bowl. They don't look at it that way.
All I'm saying is there's 2 things I worry about with the Dolphins. I get the experiment. I get all that. I'm not on board with the whole tight end thing. I think I'm not on board even a little bit. And it's unfortunate we never found that he was out there looking for a good guy and he didn't get that really good blocker, good blocker passer, pass catching. And I think running game, I'd rather have Cook and Mostert than Mostert and Wilson.
I get it.
I get it.
Totally
and I'm
get
against
it.
Wilson. Wilson would, probably be number 3, I guess,
totally
at that point. But that's what I think would be.
Problem is you can't use Cook as a main back because he also has an injury history. So let's say you get rid of Mostert or Wilson. Okay, now you've lost depth.
Yeah,
and what happens with injuries?
He's missing 2 or 3 games a year. The last 4 years, he's only losing. But the thing is, think about how that helps Tua. If you have that like monster running game,
as long as Mike McDaniel sticks with it.
Well, that's another thing that we've talked about, and you're the one that enlightened me on that one. Like, here's the guys who are getting 4.5 yards, and great 4.5 yards, but we're only giving you the ball one of the 3 downs we got the ball. So that's a little bit of a problem, right? You're not going to
huge.
So anyhow, so that I worry about those 2 positions, and I really worry about those 2 positions because of Tua. I think if you have a great running back, and I think if you have that tight end game that really is effective, I think it helps the quarterback. It's a quicker release. you're throwing the tight end pass in 50% of the tight end catches. It's a 10-yard pass. It's a quicker released pass so that Tua can stay alive. Because I worry about Tua. We all worry about Tua. Nobody wants to mention it, but it's the big elephant in the room that we're keeping our fingers crossed. We love him, and we know when he's healthy, very effective. Yeah, extremely effective.
All right, so what do we got going on here at Hialeah Park?
So it's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. This Saturday's not bad.
Okay.
This Saturday, but next Saturday we have another one of our at poker $4,000 per hour.
Nice.
4,000.
Wow.
That's on the 24th. June
Poker
24th.
players, 4,000 per hour.
Now we got some stuff on this Saturday. It's 2,000. It's not the end of the world, but it's still not a bad. It's still better than anybody in Miami-Dade County giving away in terms of that's basically $500 every 15 minutes.
Right.
Every 15 minutes.
That's awesome.
You got the high end. You got a shot. 500. That's one thing. This one here. So we never talk about in the slot floor. We do bingo on our slot floor.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
We do,
and it's very popular, by the way.
Oh, and this Saturday,
because I see it all the time. Yes.
It's packed.
Yeah,
I mean,
always.
when you see on the
they got like over 800 machines here, by the way. So it's like,
and we're thinking about adding more.
It's like Disney World.
We're adding more. Oh, you got to go downstairs. Honestly, go downstairs.
I go down.
Just go downstairs and go towards you're walking towards the restaurant.
Right.
It's the tallest slot machine I've ever seen. Now it's a big sign package too, but it's literally 2 inches from our ceiling in the high spot of our ceiling. Wow. You got to see it. We just installed it yesterday. It's a fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll go check it out.
But you'll see it. It's like you walk in, you're like, whoa. When it came in, I was like, whoa, that's a little weird. But we like that, bringing in the latest and greatest. But anyhow, back to bingo. Sunday, bingo. Tuesday, bingo. Thursday, bingo. That's why you see bingo. The bingo people are probably dying to have your parking spot.
Yes.
When you're leaving, they're coming in. Wow, I got a spot.
That's right. That's right. The damn parking lot is jam-packed when we leave on Thursdays.
Yes.
You get here and it's like at 50%, and when you leave, it's over 100%.
Right. So we do bingo 6 o'clock.
That's right.
This is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Basically, you can come here. You have dinner. Come over to the casino.
You can have dinner
bingo,
here.
Play slots in between. Play a little bingo. Play slots in between, and play some bingo.
Have a little drink over at the Flamingo Lounge.
Very nice setup. Right now, this Sunday we do bingo on Sunday too, which is a little different times. 1, 4, and 7. A little earlier. Sunday we go to bed a little earlier on Sunday night, so to speak. Right. So this Sunday is double pay bingo for Father's Day.
Nice.
Normally the top award in our bingo is $1,000 in cash. On Father's Day, a little something for the fathers. It's a $2,000 top pay.
Okay.
So it's double pay, and we're having 3 games.
Okay.
They had 3 shots at $2,000.
There you go, Father's Day. Let's go.
There you go.
Come on out.
Easy thing. Bingo. How hard is it? They call your number.
Boom.
You hit it.
Easy.
And the game. You know what's great about it? It takes 25 minutes. Our bingo is 25 minutes to 30 minutes. And then we hand somebody this Sunday $2,000.
Right.
And there's 5 games. The big game is $2,000. There's lesser games too, but
that's awesome.
That's not a bad little thing there.
So you got a lot of things from the slot machines to poker to bingo. What else?
One last thing. Then I'm out of here. I
love it.
So you always say, hey, we're giving away that cool car. And
that's right. Or truck.
So we went a little different for the month of July.
A boat? Since it's
no, it's you're gonna get I looked at it. No, that August is the $1 million. August is the $1 million. No. You're not gonna be excited about it. But I'm excited about it. But then our players
an RV would be
no. On June, so you play all month of July and you earn entries, and then the last Saturday, June 29th, $25,000 in dead presidents cash.
Oh, that is awesome.
Cashola. We're not messing around.
I'll buy Bitcoin with that. I can buy a whole Bitcoin with that.
It's down a little.
Yeah.
You could buy.
I love it.
Yeah, like
one whole Bitcoin right there.
One coin you get.
Yeah, it's 25,000.
Yeah,
it's right around there. One whole coin.
It's having a little rough week. Bitcoin is.
It's fine. I love it.
Well, buy it now.
That's what
buy
I'm
low.
doing.
Buy low.
I don't stop buying Bitcoin.
So buy it now. Here's what you do. Big O. I'm going to leave you with this. We're doing the $25,000 giveaway on June 29th. buy your Bitcoin.
Okay.
Go into your savings. You buy it. I'm sure you just look and
pull some money out of my Bitcoin.
Yeah, just go into your couch. You probably got 25,000 in the couch there, right?
For sure.
Right. And then you'll get reimbursed when you win it on June 29th.
Oh,
Perfect. Come on, this is easy. It's like free Bitcoin for you.
Plus, with all the loose slots here, I'll win more money.
Oh, let me tell you something.
So-
2 days ago, in one day, we gave away $500,000 in jackpots.
Wow.
In one day. It was a Tuesday.
Told you the slots are loose.
Tuesday. Oh, and we just
not only the sluts, but the slots are also loose.
Well, yeah, they're here too. That's on late Fridays and Saturdays.
No, that's Vegas, by the way. That's not true. It's Vegas where they, hello, sir. Are you busy tonight?
We don't have them. We don't have them.
No, I know.
We don't have them.
You only have slots, not sluts.
We were voted by Strictly Slots and Casino Player best progressive slots. Everybody that plays slots, they want to play progressives. I mean,
and your ladies love slots, so make them happy. Bring them here.
And then
by the way, they'll lose less money for you. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, husband? She's going to spend the money anyway. She loves her slots. Okay, so let her play the slots here because she has a better chance of winning, and you less chance of losing. It's a beautiful thing.
25,000.
I love it.
We're going with cash. We're going hardcore.
I love
We're just
it.
going hardcore in July.
Love it.
We're not going to pick a beautiful car. We have fun, but we figured that's just a little prelude to the $1 million thing.
RV is what you got to give next. He's right.
No, but the RVs they're kind of out of favor now. During COVID, they were in favor. Remember, everybody was buying RVs to go.
I'll get in there. I want to win that RV, bro. Take the family and the dogs all over the country.
I think a boat would be better. I'm a boat guy. You're an RV guy, then.
Yes.
I think boats are cooler.
Yeah, I know, but damn, that's true. That's true. We're gonna try to win whatever you put on the sidewalk. That is very true. Does it really matter?
And I want to make sure in August, we're gonna have to somehow put the $1 million here, and maybe on an angle do the Big O and yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Sean will hold it. Sean will hold $1 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Safe hands with Sean. Yeah. We'll have $1 million here on the show.
Gonna be, by the way, it's gonna be armed guard. Hialeah's finest will be here. Right
by the
in front
way,
of
you're
me.
welcome to come on down and take a picture if you want to take a picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, this banner is here all day, every day now. So if you want to come by and take a picture on the second floor poker room, you can do that. And make sure you send us a social media post of it when you do take a picture. So
absolutely. So anyhow, we got lots going on here.
Thank you, Steve.
Bingo, and go Dolphins. Go Dolphins, and keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed.
We're gonna have a great season.
I think so.
I am
great defense. Usually wins games and wins championships.
I am so pumped about the Dolphins season. It's ridiculous how pumped I am for the Dolphins.
I think so.
Season. Okay.
Defense wins games, wins championships, and we got a good one.
Yes. And we got a great defensive coordinator. So, I just think it helps. Just like having Spo makes you, a better basketball team every day.
It's unbelievable what he did with this year's team.
He's the best.
It's unbelievable.
The best. Best coach in the league.
Yeah.
Not even close.
You think he gets coach of the year?
Never does. But that usually happens to a lot of coaches that do a great job. Riley and Phil Jackson. And in the history of basketball, there's a lot of coaches that deserve coach of the year and did not get it. So I'm not surprised that it happens to Spo. It's not a Miami thing. I've seen it happen to a lot of coaches over the years in basketball watching it. Yeah.
He always is there.
You take it for granted. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he does that all the time. Why give it to him? This guy made the Sacramento Kings win 40 games. That's amazing. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nobody, like I said, nobody has done more with less than Spo and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, man. Real good year.
End of story. So it is what it is.
All right, guys.
You got
be
it,
good.
stud. You be good.
Care.
The great Steve Calabro. And come on out to Hialeah Park, baby. Second floor poker room. Like I always tell you, the ladies can serve you the food, the drinks, all that. I'm going to get myself my little chicken sandwich, my baguette chicken sandwich. I'm going to get that. I love it. They season the tomatoes. That'll be my dinner on the way home. I'm looking forward to that. What else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? By the way, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Crawford said that this is the biggest fight over the last 10 plus years. And you know what? He's right. He's right. I was actually going back and forth with somebody in the boxing world this morning, and he agreed with me on it that this fight is going to be just absolutely Crawford and Spence. We don't get these kind of fights in boxing a lot. We just don't. It's one of those things that we don't get treated to two superstars in this sport stepping in. You know what I mean? And now we're going to get treated to this. This is something that we just don't enjoy a lot. And let me tell you, for those of you that don't like boxing, or you're on the fence, or you're kind of, a casual, those of us that are sickos like myself, I know Steve loves boxing. We're going to watch these kind of boxing matches all the time. Hell, we have them here at Hialeah Park all the time. But even if you don't, or if you're casual, this is one of those that you cannot miss. You need to watch this fight. You need to go to a friend's house that's paying for the pay-per-view. You need to go to the bar or something with a bunch of friends, or get a bunch of friends together. Everybody put in a little kitty, and then you buy the fight, and it doesn't cost much for everybody. Whatever it is, do not miss Crawford and Spence. Okay? I'll tell you what I would love to do is be in Vegas for this fight. That's what I want to do. You ever done that, Steve? You ever gone to Vegas on fight night? That is one of the best experiences for any sports fan out there. Go to Las Vegas on a big fight night, big names. And it's just awesome because, one, the atmosphere is sick. The place is packed. And then the names come out from everywhere, not just the people that are in the ring, but the people that are fans of it. And they're from the music industry. They're from acting. They are in any kind of walk of life, big time business people. And then, of course, other athletes and other boxers too. And the funny part is, like, if they're holding it at MGM Grand, which I've stayed there many times for championship fights, the funny part is after the fight, you go walk around the casino and you're like, hey, that's whoever gambling this. Hey, that's that guy playing craps. Hey, that's that guy. And it's just stars galore on the casino floor, which is really cool. So it's just don't try to, you shouldn't try to ask for an autograph during those moments, by the way. Okay. Wait till they walk away from the table, folks. You know what I'm saying? All right, Steve, you be good. But I have to agree with Terrence Crawford that this is one of the biggest fights over the last 10 plus years. It is going to be a lot of fun. What else do we have to talk about? You saw the Jordan flu game shoes? They went on auction. So when Jordan had the flu against the Trailblazers and he hit, 7 3-pointers, I want to say, something like that. And he did this, and he was sick as a dog, and he ends up playing and having an amazing game. They auctioned off those shoes for $1.38 million. Wow. Is it worth keeping memorabilia nowadays? Or are you better off selling it because you can get so much money? I mean, not that you and I have Jordan's flu shoes at home, but any baseball card you have or anything that, I have three Fusion jerseys, okay, in my closet that I've worn. I haven't worn them in a while, but I have 3 Fusion jerseys. So for about 3 days ago, Sean, I go on eBay and I put Miami Fusion jersey, and they're all used, just like mine. Brother, they're going for like $150, $200 because you can't find them, like they're originals. They're real, and it's crazy how with memorabilia, like I'm sitting there going, so I have $400, $600 sitting in my closet with 3 Miami Fusion jerseys? And I'm seriously thinking maybe I should put them on eBay and sell them. What the hell? It's almost like the money's so ridiculous at times for some of this memorabilia that if you have any, that's minor league what I have. But if you have something that's of value, thousands, you might as well sell it nowadays, right? Because I don't know where this is. Maybe it becomes even more expensive down the line, or maybe it goes the other way. But Jesus, man, $1.38 million for Jordan shoes? That's impressive, dude.
The other thing too is the value always just depends on what the person's
willing to
pay. It's like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. The question is, can Chris Greer sign Wilkins, Sealer, and Williams with $12 million to spare? This salary cap remaining. Do you keep the remaining cap for a rainy day in week 8 during the trade? That's what I think they're doing, cap for life. Okay. And I think that they want to re-sign these guys, and that's why I don't think they're willing to go like some of you nutbags want to talk about Dalvin Cook. They're not, and I warned you for a couple of months that they weren't going to trade and they weren't going to give big money for him. I told you over and 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 over again. And there he is. Nobody's giving him big money. Nobody traded for him. So all those reports and all those people were way wrong. Okay? And they're not going to pay him because they need to maintain flexibility because of that. If there's a team by the trade deadline that has a lineman or two because they're already out of the playoffs and, this guy's contract's going to expire and they don't feel like re-signing him, but he's a good player, you might be able to trade for that guy. So you've got to maintain some flexibility going into the season. And I think that's what the Dolphins are trying to do. And remember, on signing like Wilkins, you will probably save money because if you restructure it into this year, not next year, you can cut his salary and make it a signing bonus. So you can open up some more space, actually. Instead of Wilkins taking up space, he can actually open up space for you. I don't know what Sealer's contract is, but I'm sure it's not as high as Wilkins, so I don't know if he could free up that much money. But Wilkins might be able to free up money for you because what is Wilkins making this year? Could you look it up? I want to say it's somewhere in the 10 million, 11 million range. And they could actually rework the deal and not make it start next year, but start it this coming season and maybe make his salary just $5 million this year or something like that, and then give him a signing bonus. That's enormous. They can kind of tear it up and redo the whole thing if they really want to. So in a way, you can use the Wilkins deal to open up more space this year to end up getting, something else down the line. And by the way, who was it? Cap for Life. Give yourself a little love there, Cap for Life, and you deserve a little love there because instead of so desperately chasing the running back when you already have 3, and yeah, you want to add Cook, but you got to add him at a responsible, not him, you. But the part that you need to give yourself love to is, I think that's what they're thinking in that building. We need to keep ourselves a little bit more flexible because we'd like to add a lineman. If lineman, he would be signed already by Miami. Bank on that. Money. Guaranteed. He would have signed for that. Okay? So 10.7? Yeah, see? He's making like 11 million. So they can shave 5.7. They can make it a $5 million salary and free up close to 5.7 million if they wanted to. They could do that. Now, if they don't think they'll make the move and they're happy with their linemen and all that, maybe then they'll pay a little bit more up front so it's less on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Greer might be forced into that situation soon enough. Williams is just the start of a player holding out, and others may follow. So Greer better have a good plan up his sleeve. Rosendo, I'm not worried about any kind of big holdouts or anything like that. They'll figure all that out. This is just posturing, dude. Greer normally doesn't have much issues. You know how touchy the X situation was, and he massaged that thing beautifully. And Conor, I don't think, is anywhere near X's situation. Okay, so don't worry about it. They kind of know how to get it done. Don't get a Coke. Stay strong. No, I'm not getting any Coke. I'm just getting my chicken sandwich. Relax. All of this money talk depends on Tua's success because this team's pivotal future depends on him to go far. Of course, like any quarterback. I don't think it's the best fight the past 20 years. Well, Frankie, he didn't say 20 years. He said about 10 plus. He didn't say 20 years. He's right, about 10, right around 10 years is the best fight. We could have had the best fight but it would have been way past 10 years because when was Pacquiao Mayweather? That must have been what, 5, 8, 9 years ago? And then that was 7 years, 7 years overdue. So we're probably talking about 15 years down the line. That could have been it if they would have fought each other at the pinnacle. But you're probably right with Canelo and Triple G. Jamesville, no, that's for Jamesville. The original buyer of the Jordan shoe a few years ago sold it for only $40,000. Wow. That's Michael Jordan, bro. Michael Jordan stuff is that you hang on to Michael Jordan stuff. That one you hang on to. Maybe my Fusion jersey I should sell, but the Michael Jordan. Would you sell them if you have 3 Fusion jerseys and you can get a couple $100 for each? Would you sell them?
I mean, it depends on what my like the story behind it, I guess. You know, what's that called when you had the sentimental value, I guess, to you as far as
I got it at the stadium and I worked and
Because for me, like I got a Don Shula football signed.
Oh no, but that's different.
By Shula, like one of the last times because he was still in
I would never sell that.
No, it's sitting right there behind me. Like it'll never
sell that.
Never.
No.
Never.
No. But that's not a Fusion jersey, bro.
No, it isn't. But how did you get the Fusion jersey? How is it? You know what I'm saying?
It was a good
to
time.
To me, it comes down to a lot of these
great memories I have with that.
A lot of these people are just they're not even they're memorabilia flippers. I mean, basically, they buy it to flip it to try to get more money. It's like cars.
Yeah, like most of us, our memorabilia is personal. We're not collectors.
Mm-hmm.
We're right because I'm not a collector.
No,
I just have a few pieces. But that's because I've run into them along the way throughout my years in the business. But that's about it. It's not because I'm a collector. Yeah.
No, we're not flippers. I mean, that's the people that can do that because they probably bought another piece that they flipped that helped the money to pay for the Jordan.
Yeah,
you're
right.
It becomes a business for them.
Amen.
Collection.
All right, folks. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank Alan Poupart. We thank Jeff Zilgett from USA Today, NBA writer. If you missed any of those interviews, you can rewind right here. Or better yet, if you're listening to the podcast, download it, baby. Subscribe. Hit the like button before you leave here on video. Please do me a favor. Go all throughout the site on our YouTube page and go into any video you can and hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button on all of them. As many as you can. Anytime you get a chance to do that, please do that. That is enormous for us when you hit the like button.
Mayweather Pacquiao, May 2nd, 2015. 8 years ago.
So it was 8 years ago. And that was 6-7 years ahead of past its time. They were past their prime. It should have been done in 2015. Should have been done in 2009 or 2008, that fight. So that's crazy, dude. Sucks. Anyway, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this platform every single day. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. KSDT, right? Tomorrow? We're at the KSDT CPA offices in Dadeland. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.